It's about to be one hell of a night. We're about to have one hell of a night. Tonight there's nothing I wouldn't try. Give you a shot because your body looks right. It's about to be one hell of a night. We're about to have one hell of a night. Tonight there's nothing I wouldn't try. Give you a shot because your body looks right. It's about to be one hell of a night. We're about to have one hell of a night. Tonight there's nothing I wouldn't try. Give you a shot because your body looks right. It's about to be one hell of a night. We're about to have one hell of a night. Tonight there's nothing I wouldn't try. Give you a shot because your body looks right. It's about to be one hell of a night. We're about to have one hell of a night. Tonight there's nothing I wouldn't try. Give you a shot because your body looks right. It's about to be one hell of a night.
Man, you come straight out of a comic.
Yo, first off, before we start, am I heard clearly? Am I heard loudly? Is it low? Is it not? Does my mic need to be raised up before I start? Let your boy know in the comments below. Are we good? You sound fine. Okay, could appreciate that, Thriz. Thriz for Prez. And appreciate the compliment, sir. Appreciate the compliment. All right, thumbs up from Swift, from AJ Marshall. Appreciate it, y'all. Happy Saturday. Welcome to those that are coming in. The Straight of a Comic Book. If you watching, you already know, man. Y'all spend y'all Saturday mornings and afternoon on the East Coast with your boy, Will Pharaoh, and then sometimes we have guests. But today, we solo dolo again. We just wait for folks to come in before I officially start. But just want to come in, say hello to everybody. Not say, to come in. I'm already in here. But just wait for more people to come in before we get this thing fully started. So how is everybody doing on this Saturday? And while y'all come in and let me know those things, just be sure to know that we are live. We're live on a couple of platforms, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch as well. So appreciate everybody that is coming in today to join. So just how the show goes, it's a recorded show as well. So if you're here to experience the live, great, much appreciated. But in case for those that miss it or want to watch it again, the official episode drops on Sunday. So that's tomorrow. Which would be, the edited version with stuff cut up and everything, as well as including clips on the socials and everything like that. And then if you are live with me, right after the show, we have a Q&A where we just really whatever questions you want to throw out there, we sit there, we talk about them, and we answer them and stuff like that. So, just as a benefit for tuning in. So yeah, but good morning to B&B. I think that's Booty and Brains and Booty. I'm sorry, I threw the Booty in first. Brains and Booty, good morning to you. Swift, glad to know that you're doing good over there on Twitter. No, that's YouTube. Saying that I'm good, my G. I'm at work right now. How are you, bro? I'm good. To you, consistently trying not to stress. It's hard when you do all of this stuff by yourself. So setting up shows, edits, and everything. Posting is by far probably the most stressful thing. Posting and social media, that's probably one of the toughest things to do when it comes to doing all your stuff yourself. Because I shoot the stuff, edit it, cut it up, make it into clips, post it, create the promos. Same thing. I did the same thing for Arcade Tokens. So that same formula switched over here for Strata of a comic book. So, having to also call people and have people, do you want to be a guest? And then out the call sheets, like all of that falls on me. And again, that's not the stressful part. That just kind of comes with the territory. Even the part of editing, because I also do the edits for Strata of a comic book, as well as I did for Arcade Tokens and all those shows. As well as with All Def Cannabis, but I had help over there, thank God, because we were pumping a lot of stuff out. But that's more tedious than it is overwhelming and stressful. Like the editing and the clip part is just more tedious, and it's just like, oh, when you were in school and you had to like go over your work before you turned it in, you're just like, but you didn't been working at it all day or all night and you just tired. You just want to turn the shit in, but it's like, you got to check to make sure this is good. That's editing. That is editing. And so just imagine just like, okay, after this whole, like when this live is over, I have till tomorrow at 6 a.m. to edit out this show. First of all, cutting this live part off, jumping into the intro part, putting that stuff together, and then trying to find a clip here. So yeah, Kuma on this one, Granddaddy Perp. Yeah, just DM me and IG, and we can talk about that. And to Swift the Infinite over on YouTube, like I said, bro, I hate when a video I'm editing doesn't say. I hate when a video that is bad, and then also one that it's even worse when you've done it, you're tired, and you've waited all this time for it to export, and depending on what kind of computer you got, luckily for mine, it don't take too long. But before then, like when I had a desktop, this took like 15 to 30 minutes to like export a long 2-hour video, and then you do it and you see a mistake in it. Like there was a lower third or a text that you forgot to delete out, or you forgot to write at that part. So now it's just sitting smack dead in the middle of your face. And you gotta go back in, take that out, and then you gotta re-export it again. So those are just like, that's stressful, but not too stressful. It's just because of being tedious. But posting is so damn stressful. Social media is so stressful. So stressful because one, I think I have to post across maybe 15 platforms. Let me see. We got Strata of a Comic Book, Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, YouTube. And then you have all of those for me. So that's another 5. And then if on a good day I post this stuff now, because I kind of stopped using Arcade Tokens like that except to be live. If I post on Arcade Tokens, that's 15 posts I have to do in a day. Like I have to sit here and post this thing 15 times. And that doesn't even include stories. So like, also putting it up on stories, adding the links so y'all know where to go and where to click on it and how to get there, coming up with the caption, making sure those captions are added, then going to Twitter and having to take out part of that caption because it doesn't fully fit on Twitter because it has a word count. Then that's just one clip. Then I'm also responsible of having to make more content throughout the week for 15 more social channels. And then not only that, the biggest part of all of that is the social side. I also have to be social on these things. I also have to go like, I have to go comment, I have to go follow. And that's across 15 channels. 15. And I'm supposed to be doing that like 3 times a day. Me just explaining it made me stress out just now. Just the fact of like, just as I told y'all that, I'm just like, holy shit. That's a lot. That's so much. So much. So that's why I say that's the part that'll just kind of, and then you get to a point where it's like, it'll stress you out to where you don't want to do it. Where you just be like, man, I'll do that tomorrow. Because you're just so overwhelmed, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And especially when you're doing it by yourself. When you don't have no one to, like, when it's just you. And then on top of that, like, if for pages, like, let's say straight out of a comic book, trending stories. Like, like, and we'll talk about those because we're about to get into the show. That part with just like keeping up with the trending stuff, like when a new movie trailer drops or TV show trailer drops, and it's like, okay, now I got to go grab that. And then depending on how you move about your show, as far as aesthetic wise look, for myself, it's like, I've been making sure my stuff lines up with how I make this show. So I got to go create a cover for it. I got to make sure it's formatted correctly to be put in like either a carousel or reel format. And make sure that's posted up and make sure the captions are right. Make sure that I'm tagging the right people. Make sure I'm collabing with the right folks. So that way they can accept the collab. And then to do all of that to get 200 views on the video. Meanwhile, there's a chick that throws a 2-piece for Popeyes at someone's window and yells, "Fuck you, howdy do." And this shit has 2 million views. Not hating, it just definitely will make you frustrated as to go, geez, what can we do different? What can we do different? Appreciate you. I'm just Cheek at at Twitch for saying it's stressful, but you built for this. Yeah. Because I wouldn't want to do anything else. It's just, again, as like people, we live in a world now where we get to be transparent, especially as a man. We get to, express how we feel. And that's why I say it gets overwhelming. It gets overwhelming at times. And, but it's just, sometimes. So it's just like, but you keep going. You keep going. You can get discouraged sometimes when you see videos like that do that. But I know there's something here because, like, 20 to 30 something people are showing up. And like the last stream we had that was just random, we had like 100 people Wednesday. So there's something here. It's something to just keep going. Like, it's not nothing of where I'm just like, man, I don't feel like doing this no more. Again, it just gets stressful. But because of that stress, I'd rather do it for something that's myself than for somebody else. Like, imagine if I had to do this for someone else and wasn't getting paid. Oh, I'd be pissed. Oh, I would be pissed. And yeah, so some of y'all that said it in the chat, yes, there are actually like salary jobs for this. Like, that was what I used to be for All Deaf until I became an art director and stuff. But that was my position, was creating socials and posting them. But then I became their art director. RJ over on Twitter, yeah, man, I do need an assistant. You know, the thing is, One is probably the financial side. Still, just like I'm a from the mud baby. I don't have no trust fund. My parents are not rich. Like I moved out here to LA in my own volition. Like I've worked and earned everything to get to the point of where I'm at right now. So I don't come from money. I can't ask my parents for anything. Just simply because it's not in their means to be able to do it or anything like that. Not to say like I'm dead broke or anything like that, or to say that they are. Just like it's one of those things of just like, hey, I support your dream, but and we'll do the best we can to support it in some ways. But it's when it comes to those, just trying to be able to earn capital within what you're doing, especially for this show, like being able to get like sponsorship and be able to actually having income coming in for it to hire assistant. But the second thing too is being able to delegate what I need from that assistant. And I think that's one of the things I kind of like ran into that was an issue for me. Like I have a mindset of I can do this myself. And that's a double-edged sword. Because as much as, like from this point, I can make the call sheets if I want, guess how we are right now. I created these graphics. I created the setup. I'm the one that's doing the streaming, manning the keyboards, going to edit, put stuff out. Yes, I can do it all. And yes, I have done it all. But should I be doing it all? No. And so that's where, again, the other side of that sword comes in, because you get the mentality of I'll just do it myself. And then you start to lack in being able to delegate and be able to get help. And one of my friends, shout out to Sly Cooper, because a good friend of mine, she actually had to put her foot in my ass about being a moderator when it came to Twitch. And I'm just like, no. Because again, I'm a person of, if I can't pay you, I don't want to ask. Like I know a lot of people that I'm cool with that doesn't mind doing this and stuff like that, but it bothers me to have someone do something and they're not being paid for it, because I value other people's time. Like I don't want to waste people's time. I don't want to waste folks' time when they're doing stuff. So I tend to make sure if I can't pay you, then it's very hard for me to want to ask. And so, Sly had to put her foot in my ass about like, yo, we cool and I believe in what you're doing. So that's why I'm offering to help be a moderator for you. And so literally because of that, she became a moderator for my stuff and on YouTube and everything like that. So, but I say all that to say it's stressful. It's a little overwhelming. This all stems from, who was that in the chat? Swift the Infinite asking, how have I been? I don't even know if he's still in here to hear this answer, but that is how I've been. So, but with all that said, we are going to go ahead and get into the show. So, I'm going to hop back and show the video. We're going to play the intro video. Then I'm going to come in. For y'all that's just tuning in, we're going to do the show. We got a lot to talk about, from video games, television, movies, House of the Dragon, The Boys, everything. The Nintendo Showcase. We got a lot to talk about. After the show, you'll hear me say thank you for tuning in. You'll hear me do the, hey, check out this, check out that. Once that's done, we're going to stop. I'm going to pause, and then we'll jump into the Q&A. And so the Q&A is basically y'all can just ask questions, all type of stuff like that. We just pretty much shooting the shit. And thank you to Kuma over on YouTube. Hey, yo, if you're on YouTube watching this, hit the like buttons on this live. If you're on Twitter, hit the like buttons. If you're if you're on YouTube and Twitter, check out my Twitch, twitch.tv/Will Pharaoh, PHARAOH. And I'm saying that like I can't just put the link in here rather than y'all trying to remember that. So there's also that. So let's see.
Jeanette Eccles, Jr.
Who told you to
Bounty
play
Hunter at
something? I know I paused this shit. Wow. My copy button just don't work no more. For some reason, my copy button does not work. And I don't know why. And it's very weird. But yeah, you can follow if you haven't followed on Twitch, follow us on Twitch for my channel as well. And then we also have a Discord. We also have a Discord for Straight Out of a Comic Book. So if you're on Discord, join the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Join the Discord. And then the same thing for our Instagram for Straight Out of a Comic Book. And I'm going to get the bots in here to be able to do that stuff automatically for y'all so y'all can be able to see it. But I'm going to hop in, play the intro, and then we're going to hop in and get this thing going. So.
Man, you come straight out of the comics.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Straight Out of a Comic Book. I am your host, the Anomaly, the Goliath, the most electrifying man in all of digital media, Will Pharaoh. Happy Saturday. Glad y'all are in here for those that are checking out the live. Shout out to I'm Just Cheek over on Twitch for using the emoji, man. That's how I know you're a subscriber, and I appreciate that. But welcome, everybody. So glad to have y'all here. We got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot to talk about in video games. We got a lot to talk about in television. We got a lot to talk about in movies. A lot of stuff was happening this week, and I'm excited. I got disappointments, and I know people want to know what's going on with Blade. More news coming from Blade, and it's not looking good, man. It's really not looking good. We got that and so much more to talk about today, so I'm glad that y'all are tuning in. Shout out to those that are checking out the live from It's Akuma, a.k.a. Granddaddy Perp, Swift the Infinite, James Woodward, the Introvert over on Twitter, RJ, I'm Just Cheek, King Mike Hall, Rob A Music, excuse me, Internet Raheem, Thailand 23. Let me see, I'm trying to make sure I got everybody in here. C-Train, I know my boy Easy not gonna jump in here. Brains and Booty, appreciate you being in here. Threads for Prez 2. All of y'all, I appreciate y'all joining me across all of our platforms that we be live on, from Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. And we'll be having some more of those coming very soon. So, but without further ado, let's jump into the first set of topics, and we are going straight to video games. Now, this past week, they had the Nintendo Direct showcasing in June. Shout out to Big Beck 70. The Nintendo Direct showcase was I believe a week or so ago in this past month, and they were showcasing some of the new stuff that is coming out. Now, a lot of people were anticipating if they were going to show the Switch 2. We got a little bit of information on it, not too much information, but we do know that it's coming. But what we did get a lot of the rollouts that they're going to be doing video game wise. Some of the stuff that they had that were going to be, as far as updates, things that were going to be added. They are adding the game Stray, where you get to play as the cat and stuff. It was very popular over on PlayStation. It did very well there. I played it myself. Very, very cool game. Very cool game. If you are just trying to kind of chill, get into the game life a little bit, Stray is really cool. As well as they will be doing remakes to Dragon Quest 3, HD 2D. So they're getting a remake of Dragon Quest. So you're getting 1 and 2 next year. So the following year, they will be doing a remake for Dragon Quest, as well as some other properties that they're going to have being remade. But some of the top things that were taken away from Nintendo Direct was the announcement of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Metroid Prime is back, and supposedly Metroid Prime it's rumored that this will be the first game that will be available on the Nintendo Switch 2. So don't know if that's confirmed just yet, but from the trailers that we saw, it looks like Metroid Prime has not missed a step, and it was worth the wait. Samus is back. And I can't wait to see the culture for Metroid Prime show out. I didn't realize like how big until you go to cons and stuff, how big Metroid is a contender in the Nintendo family. Like, we always consider like Mario, Luigi. Like, if you think top 5 Nintendo people, top 5 Nintendo characters, that's like the face. So this is like the Mount Rushmore of Nintendo characters. Who would you put in there? Because I'm hearing a lot of people saying that Metroid is within that Mount Rushmore. So we already know 2 spots are taken up, and that's Mario and Luigi. And Luigi certified himself when he got Luigi's Mansion. Like, it wasn't just like coattail type riding. Like Luigi stood out and stood on business. So you got Luigi, Mario. Wait, hold on. Let me reverse that. Mario, Luigi. Then you got Link from Legend of Zelda, Donkey Kong. But if we go in that top 5, let's say our Mount Rushmore is top 5. Who's in top 5? Who's that 5th spot? Okay, so someone said in the chat, Pikachu. Oh, man. And I can't think of no other console that's had a Pokemon game. So y'all might be right. You know what? No, you know what? I got No, I can't. And you know what? I thought about Star Fox. I can't give it to Star Fox because Star Fox is a key instrument in the Nintendo franchise, but I would not put him in top 5 just because Star Fox was not consistent. Like, Star Fox is not consistent when it comes to it. So it is a battle between Pikachu and Prime. And I would say those 2 battle for number 5 and 6. I think they flip-flop. And I think with Prime that goes, I want to get but Pikachu is iconic though. But is he iconic? But it's no, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm putting Metroid Prime at number 5, and here's why. Because Pikachu garnered its success off of the franchise alone. So that was with movies, television, and everything else. So I can't put that there just yet. Oh fuck. I can't believe it. I forgot about the captain himself, Captain Kirby. Captain Kirby definitely got to be 5. Metroid is 6. Captain Kirby been holding it down. Captain Kirby was holding it down for years. Like the pillars of Nintendo. Like, if Mario is the face of Nintendo, like Kirby gotta be like the Magic Johnson. Gotta be like the Magic Johnson. Cause Luigi is Scottie Pippen. Link is Shaq. Link just dominate no matter what. So I don't count Yoshi. I'm not counting Yoshi. Yoshi is like side character. He's cool, but I'm not putting him top 5. Like, I can't put him as the face. So yeah, it gotta go Mario, Luigi, Link, Donkey Kong, Kirby as the top 5 Nintendo characters for their Mount Rushmore. Metroid Prime, I'm gonna put at number 6 though. I'm gonna put them in number 6. Just because, like, it's true. They really are. You can't. You just can't. I'm sorry. You can't. So just to top that out, just so we clear, my Nintendo Mount Rushmore, we're going Mario, Luigi, Link, Donkey Kong, Kirby, and honorable mention, Metroid Prime. So those are the picks for those. Those are the picks for that. Yoshi is definitely Steve Kerr. Somebody said in the chat. Yoshi is definitely Steve Kerr. That is a great one. But yeah, So I'm looking forward to seeing what Metroid is going to do, as well as, we mentioned Link in the Mount Rushmore. We're getting another Zelda game. But this time, the person who is in the title is finally stepping down off of the throne and getting into the shit. All right? So the new game for Zelda, the next chapter that was announced was The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, where this time you will be playing as Zelda rather than playing as Link. And I have to say this, and I hope Nintendo hears this or y'all share it to Nintendo, but if you do not make a special edition where it's called The Legend of Link, y'all have dropped the ball. Y'all have dropped the ball on this. I'm going to let you know now. If you missed this opportunity to call it The Legend of Link and you play as Zelda, and like I said, special edition. If you don't drop that somewhere, you've missed out on a grand opportunity. I'm not a big Zelda fan. And it's no hate towards it. It's just one of the games that it didn't grab me like it grabbed everybody else. But I did play Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was good. I still haven't finished it yet, but that's not because I don't like Link. It's just because I find myself, I haven't finished a lot of my video games, and I need to do that. I might even start doing that on stream, like actually finishing video games and us watching them, because it is atrocious that I have still not finished Breath of the Wild. I have one mission from Cyberpunk left, like the finale, and I still haven't played it. I literally stopped and did not get back on it for some reason. And I only have the final mission of Cyberpunk, and I beat the actual game. Still haven't done it. So I need to do that. I need to do that. I like the gaming style that they're doing, kind of playing around with it just to see what's up. I hope that they allow Zelda to have some dope powers, kind of to stand on their own, so we can kind of see, maybe even get a version like Breath of the Wild told by Zelda and something like that. But I think it looks like a cute game. I'm not going to play it personally, but I'm sure this will be fun to the fans of the Zelda franchise. I'm sure this is just another great addition to them. And then the next things that they showcased, of course, was Mario and Luigi Brothership. Of course, the Jordan and Pippin of Nintendo are getting another RPG game called Mario and Luigi Brothership. It looks good. I've seen the trailer for it. I do like the animation style for Mario and Luigi. It looks really good. Like at first, I wasn't too sure about the style. I wasn't too sure of how it was going to look, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. And if you're a fan of the old school Super Nintendo Mario RPG, just settle in, because I think we're about to get the same stuff, but just a continuation of what they built on. The remake was good, but to see like this next chapter for them, again, it just adds to their franchise as well, kind of like for Legend of Zelda. And it just shows why they are the top dogs, why they are the top folks. And I'm all here for it. But the two that grabbed me at this showcase, our first one, Super Mario Party Jamboree. It's a jamboree in this bitch. Mario Party, man, listen. They did their thing with this. You can play with over 15 people online now. Okay, do you understand the craziness, which is why they called it Jamboree, because we already know, like, Mario Party is a staple for a lot of folks in the Nintendo world and stuff. And I think the limit that they have is 20 people. 20 people at a time can play this game. Online, at your home, on your Switch. Yo, this game finna go up. Like, I promise you, Super Mario Party Jamboree finna be up there with Mario Kart. With Mario Kart and Super Smash Brothers. It's gonna be like the top 3 games that's bought on Nintendo Switch. Smash Bros, Mario Kart, Mario Party Jamboree. I cannot wait for me and my friends to get this, because as you know, we got a Mario Kart, group that we play with. We're gonna have that on Twitch coming soon too. So just look out for that. Going live and playing with a couple of my friends as well. But this is gonna do numbers. This is gonna do numbers. And I do have to say something though about Mario Kart. And I just want this to be known. And this is to anybody that does this. They would not have put the antenna in the game if you're not allowed to use it. Do not bitch at nobody that uses the antenna in Mario Kart. If it was not supposed to be used, it would not be there. So if people want to use it, please use it. Do not let nobody punk you into thinking like, oh man, you can't play, you got the antenna on. Man, fuck you. You can kiss the lower end of my left testicle. Now at 200 cc's, you wild. Hey, if you play in 200 cc's with no antenna, you're wild. But stop bashing people that use the stuff. I do both. I'll use that antenna, and sometimes I won't use that antenna. I've had it and to where, because I've used the antenna to where it has gone horribly wrong, and has cost me winning the game. It has straight like legit cost me, and I'm like, fuck, turning this damn antenna off, turning this shit off. Fuck this. But so stop bashing people that use the antenna, because we had that in a group a couple of days ago, and they was just like, man, no, you can't use the antenna. Yes, you can. Because like 2 of my homegirls was using the antennas. It's like, let them use it. Let them use it. It's there. That's what it's there for. Jeez. Let us play the game the way we want to play it. It is not cheating. Anybody tell you a cheater and you use an antenna, you can tell them, hey man, you can sharpen some pistols and fall on them. All right. But Super Mario Party Jamboree, one of the highlights of the Nintendo Direct. But my final one this is my personal pick of what was the highlight from the Nintendo Direct. Not, these were not put into like which one was best, which one was worst. But for me, the highlight myself was Nintendo Switch Sport. Nintendo Switch Sports. Listen, Wii Sports was off the chain, and you can't tell me no different. I don't think no one can give a good enough explanation why you did not like Wii Sports if you tried it. Bowling, tennis, boxing, volleyball, soccer, all of it was fire. All of it was absolute fire. And the fact that it's coming to Switch and the new stuff that they have on it, like the fact that you can now add your controller to your leg and that certifies as a kick for soccer. Yo, Nintendo decided they wasn't playing. They were not playing. Yo, hey, I will say this. So someone in the comment, Big Beck 70 stated that they need a Olympic qualifier Wii Sports edition. They do need a Wii Sports tournament, though. I will definitely agree with that. We need a Wii Sports tournament. And that might be something I cook up. I might have to cook that up. A Switch Sports tournament where they come out, you pick your category, and we will crown first place, second place, third place runners. We need to do that. I can't wait, though. I want to try all the sports. I want to do boxing. I want to try tennis and stuff. And it's also a great way for gamers to be active. That's the thing that I really like about it. Is that, a lot of gamers sit in a chair all day, streamers as well. Like I look forward to seeing people, streaming, playing Nintendo Switch Sports. But it keeps you active. It gets your heart rate up. Like that's what I liked about Wii Sports. So the fact that we got it on Switch now, it's a good exercise. It is a good exercise, keep you motivated. So we're gonna get it and play it on my channel, on my Twitch channel. We're gonna definitely play Nintendo Switch and some other stuff as well. So I'm looking forward to it. But all in all, Nintendo Showcase was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. looking forward to so many things dropping. And I feel like that has been just the push so far for even all the categories in which we're talking about today. Like, everybody seems to be stepping it up in their respective industries, like video games. Like, we've seen it with PlayStation. We've even seen it with Xbox. You know, like Xbox, a lot of people are talking a lot of noise about it, but they stepping their game up. I think Xbox is about to come with something really dope that people are not going to expect. Like, I saw their showcase out here in LA and it was really good. So I look forward to it, but I say all of that to say, not only have it been doing it in video games, but it's also been moving like that when it comes to television. And so that's what we're going to jump into now. We in our television portion. And we talking House of the Dragon. Y'all, if you saw it, if you haven't seen it, this is a spoiler warning, okay? If you haven't seen it, please exit the video, if you on live, exit the live. Go check out one of the other episodes that I have in Strata of a Comic Book. You can go watch who we picked as the top dads in a previous video. Go watch that, because we about to talk about it. House of Dragons returned last Sunday. We got a new episode coming out this Sunday. Let me tell y'all something, man. I have never seen people divided like this since Bloods and Crips. People are representing if they are going black or if they going green. And obviously we know New York chose green because the Empire State Building put up that big ass green dragon saying they mess with the high towers. And that's why I don't fuck with New York. Y'all be letting too much shit attack y'all. Y'all got dragons on the Empire State Building. You got Godzilla roaming around. Got fucking Ninja Turtles in the sewer. How y'all live like that? How you live like that? I just got to deal with racist people. You got to deal with Godzilla? Godzilla. That's wild. That's wild. Y'all got too much happening in New York for me. Too much happening. It's too much that be going on in New York, man. That's why I stay far away and safe, man. But House of the Dragon picked up to some people's case a little slow in the beginning, but at the end just left you shell shocked. And one thing we can definitely determine that war is coming. Ain't no, hey, you know what? Can we talk about this? Can we talk about this for a second? I know my son accidentally let his dragon eat your son. Yeah, I get it. That's messed up. That's on us. That's on us. We shouldn't have let that happen. I should have watched my son a little bit more, told him like, hey bro, listen, stay your ass at the house. Stay your ass at the castle, bro. Don't be out there. I don't care what they did to your little eye, bro. We got you you got a blue magical eye. What more do you want? Nah, man. Nah, bro. Princess said, I ain't playing that shit. I ain't playing that. Yo, first of all, when her husband was trying to be like, yo, man, we need to go get these cats. And her advisor from the ship crew was like, yo, you don't understand, bro. Yo, she lost a kid. I lost a kid, but I got to mourn mine. I got to bury them properly. I got to say goodbye to something. Man, when she said that, bro, I felt for the princess. Bro, I felt for her, bro. I felt for Princess Targaryen, bro. That shit, because when they said that, it hit home. And I was like, dang, that's so true. It was so it's just like, I don't know why it touched me the way it did, but it was just like, yo, to hear her say that, it's like, yo, it's true because she don't have nothing to bury. She didn't get to like see her son. She didn't say goodbye to her son. Like her son is digested and was probably shit out across the sea by that dragon. And that's about it. So she didn't even get to touch him, to hold him. And I keep calling her princess, even though I do need to call her queen, because she is technically queen. So my apologies. But Queen Rhaenyra, like bro, when she was walking that beach, and she saw them dragon pieces there. First of all, the way she called her dragon down though was like, yo, everybody, back the fuck up, back the fuck up. But to see them pieces, dog, and when she grabbed that jacket, it was right here for me. It was right here for me. When she grabbed that jacket and was holding it, yo, you could feel her pain. You felt it, because it's like, yo, this is all I have left of my son. It don't even matter that she got other sons. The fact of it just being like, yo, my son is gone. My son is gone. That man, that hard hitting. And then I gotta talk about it. Let's talk about the queen over there in the high towers. What's happening with her? Like, I don't understand. Like, how if you on Team Green, how you supporting her movements? How are you supporting any of their movements? Now, don't get me wrong. Queen Targaryen a little out there for marrying her uncle. I'm like, for me, that's a lot. That is a lot. But it's olden times, trying to keep the bloodlines pure. The thought process I can reason with to go, okay, cool. But Queen Hightower, no. I don't understand how you rocking with the Hightowers, bro. How you gonna sleep with your former best friend's baby daddy? You got, and here's my thing. Queen Hightower is beautiful. It ain't like you can't pull anybody else. So many people in that castle. So many people in that kingdom. Why did you pick your former best friend's baby's daddy? And to all of those that may disagree with me on how she looked, when I say beautiful, I mean like classic beauty. Like, I don't mean like, yo, she bad. She bad. Like, face-wise, she is a beautiful woman. I don't care what nobody say. Like, facial-wise, she is what you call a classic beauty. And she is. But how, out of everybody, you sleep with your best friend's baby daddy and not expect that war is gonna come? Like, you are literally writing a note that says, "Hey, I want to go to war. I do not care about anything in this castle nor anyone. Please bring these dragons here and burn this shit to the ground." There's no way there's no possible way you care about what happens. Like, I don't understand how y'all rep for Team Green. I do not understand y'all rep for Team Green. We already got him in there just acting a fool. Her son, her son Aegon. Man, look, don't listen to nobody. Don't listen to nobody. And you know what too? I wanted to give it to her son, the king. I wanted to give it to King Aegon II. I really did. But the only problem that I have with him when it comes to this is that he does a lot of stuff out of spite for his parents. and he does a lot of stuff out of spite for his family members. Like it's one of those, I'm a rebellious person, and you can tell like you don't respect hierarchy. Like there's a difference between like Prince Damon and how he acts. Like there's a whole difference between that. Like that dude just a savage. But you can understand his concept as towards who he is, which is why he ain't really fit to rule. But King Aegon is just like, bro, like you show like when he was sitting at the throne, he was listening to the people. And your advisor is trying to tell you some real shit. Now don't get me wrong, Otto ain't shit. He is a no shit nigga. I'm still gonna throw that out there. All them high towers ain't shit. Like at all. Them high towers is bad news. They toxic. But he was at least giving him some real advice. It's just like, yo, we trying to pay these people off with these livestock to protect you, to protect your family, to protect everybody, so we can gather forces so these Targaryens don't come over and burn this place to the ground. So while I know this cat's struggling, just keep in mind, if you open that gate, the flood gonna come in. You do it for one, it's gonna spread around the castle, and people gonna think you're gonna do it for everybody. That's some real shit, because a king gotta make some hard ass choices. And you can tell Aegon's choice that he don't want to make is by listening to everybody. Otto told him some real shit and he didn't want to listen to it. And it's like, yo, that's how you gonna fuck up your kingdom. Like, it's cool if you want to please the people, but you also got to please the court. And if you start not finding a balance with that, you gonna mess around and end up like your kid, and blood and cheese gonna come knocking. But we're gonna jump into that in just a second. I do want to point out that we did get our first look at the Starks, which was dope. We got to see the wall. We got to see one of the Queen's sons, one of the Queen Targaryen sons, go over there, and we got our first introduction to the Stark clan, and which made a lot of sense. Which made a lot of sense as to why that story builds towards Game of Thrones, especially after having the conversation that he had with Stark over there at the Ice Wall, which also makes me think that the White Walkers are already there, because it's something that he stated too. He was kind of like, well, what's out there besides the cold and like the beast and stuff like that, and some of maybe like the natives that live within there is like, yo, nah, you have no idea what the fuck out there. So that leads me to believe the White Walkers already somewhat exist. And I know there was some rumors going around that people were believing that Prince Aemon, the one with the missing eye, that he was potentially the Frost King. I may be saying his name wrong. The Frost King. They were saying that might be him, but I feel like he's already there, and that's told from like a story like even longer than before House of the Dragon. Like, I think he's been there for a while and may have even been the cause of why the cold came. So I don't think it's Aemon that is the Frost King, but it is a cool theory. But I think people just kind of like seeing the eye and stuff like that, and then that's why they kind of like associate him with that. But it was real cool to see these lineages be introduced, especially so early here, and this taking place 100 years before Game of Thrones. So it was cool to really see that. But that last part, man. Look, listen. Usually I don't do this, but I had to. Just thinking about it, of what Blood and Cheese did at the end of that episode. You forget how real this can get when you watch House of the Dragon. You tend to like go like, okay, it's a TV show and you kind of see what's coming, but you In that moment, when Blood and Cheese got to that castle and got inside the other queen's room, the one, what it is, Aegon's, Queen Helena. When they got into Queen Helena's room and had her held hostage, and I was like, oh, yo, this shit real. Because watching them infiltrate the castle felt like you was getting infiltrated a little bit. Now, again, I don't fuck with Team Green like that. But that feeling of being somewhere and that thought process you kind of have. You ever been like in a house that's a little big, like maybe 5 bedrooms or something like that? Ain't even necessarily even got to be 5. It can probably be less than that, like 3. But just like when you in a place, you ever get the thought that somebody else might be here? Or there's someone lurking within here? Like, it's like, yo, man, I don't like the fact that this door closed in the room upstairs because what if somebody in there? And it's like, yo, why the fuck would somebody be in here? But it's like, but what if somebody is? Everyone has that feeling. Even if you don't, harp on it, or even if you don't play on it, you still have that feeling. And that's the feeling I felt when they were infiltrating the castle. It's like, yo, anybody can really walk up in this bitch. And they did. And they got to your room. And not only did they get to her room, they made her make a choice. And what's crazy about it is she called that shit in the beginning of the episode. That woman called that. She tried to tell her husband, like, yo, I'm scared. And she mentioned the fucking rats. Because one of them dudes in Blood and Cheese is a rat catcher. And she kept mentioning that whole episode. I kept looking for rats. But it was like, yo, I really didn't see any rats like that till we started getting towards the end and we saw the traps and the dude walk off. And I'm like, okay. But I never associated with it. But it's like, yo, it's a big ass thing. Like, of course, they don't have areas where there's rats and stuff and infestations and shit. Like, it's old times. But she called that and told that man that. And he didn't do nothing. And that's the reason why the king is going to really mess up. And I think he's going to wind up getting killed. I think he's going to wind up getting killed or he's going to wind up killing himself. Kind of like Lannister kid did when he walked out the window and just exit life. And he told her and he didn't pay attention. And your arrogance cost you your son. And you know what, too? We had this conversation in a group of mine. And they was like, if I was her, I wouldn't have chosen. I would have said, like some people believe, like, yo, why didn't she sacrifice herself and let the 2 kids live? And then the only problem with that is Blood and Cheese was coming back with somebody's head. A son's head at that. And how I showed it was you risk losing all 3 of you by doing that. Because if they kill you, there's the son and the daughter left. You start sawing off the brother's head, the daughter wakes up, screams, now you gotta take the daughter out. So now there's 2 kids. And he only requested 1. That's 2 kids and a queen taken out. Yo, that's that when I saw, like, when they was like, yo, choose who you gonna take out, I knew she was like, pick, which one is your son? I already knew she picked the son. And the reason why I knew she picked the son, because she did not want another one of hers ascending to the throne. She did not want another guy in there. That's why when the rat catcher looked at her, he was like, nah, she telling the truth. She telling the truth. And she walked out, and all you hear is the sawing sound. And that bitch just cut off and showed the credits. I had to go outside after that. I had to go outside because when she was walking and I heard the sound, this was my exact reaction. I was like, are they cutting that baby's head off? Like, literally, like, I had to look at my homeboy and I was just like, are they cutting that baby's head off? I was like, you hear that? Are they really cutting that baby's head off? Yo, that shit flipped me out. That shit freaked me the fuck out. I was, no. Man, and you know what's crazy and how crazy the world is today? Let me talk to y'all for a second. Now, I heard a lot of people talking about how they were disappointed in the first episode and how, if you read the books, Blood and Cheese do a lot worse than that. Like, do a lot worse, actually. And they toned it down a lot. And then also, too, though, in this next episode, they also, again, remember, they also have to escape. I don't know how they're going to play that, but there's a part in the book where, like, they have to get out the castle and they don't wind up getting out. And that's what truly sparks the war between both Targaryen parties. Here's my thing. This is how you know, from the people who were bitching and complaining about like it being downsized and disappointing, this is just a testament of how we need a reset in today's society. Because how hearing the sounds of someone getting their head cut off and you know that it's a child happening, how that does not shake you in your bones and you're like, we want more, says a lot about you. And I mean a whole lot about you. Because that's wild. That's so wild. That y'all said that people are really saying like they were disappointed in Blood and Cheese. That it was toned down. I'm like, what did you want? Like, what do you want to see? Like, yo, like, let this show have some decorum at least. So that's just wild, bro. Like, that's why I say we need a reset. People need to go touch some grass. People need to sit down. Like, you need to do something, man. Go outside, get some sun, because if to you that wasn't enough, I don't know what to tell you. Because that had me shook. That had me so shook. So, I don't know what really comes next in this in the episode that's coming out, but we do know that the episode, I believe, is 69 minutes long for this next episode that comes out. So we're gonna see what happens with the ramifications of Blood and Cheese cutting off that baby's head. Queen Hightower getting exposed by Queen Helena. Fucking Sir Kristen Cole. Kristen Cole ain't shit, but I knew that when I saw his hairstyle. I knew he wasn't gonna be I knew he was a no shit nigga. I knew it. I knew he wasn't nothing. I knew it from the second I saw him. This motherfucker ain't shit, and he proving it. First part in the whole episode, he eating box. Like, bruh, why? Why though? Why? But I ain't gonna lie, bro. He got some good quality under his belt. Hey. You done drop rope on 2 queens. Well, there you have it then, young man. So, but speaking of which, and another thing of people, claiming to be disappointed, The Boys season 4 is out. 4 episodes in. We halfway through the season, I believe, because it's only 8. A lot of critics been hating. For some reason, because the first episode didn't top a small miniature man running through a dick and then blowing the motherfucker up. Apparently, 4 is very slept on. 4 is very lower than what 3 was. It's like, sometimes I just wonder, are we watching the same thing? Like, we watching the same show, right? We watching this. I could have sworn we watching the same show. Now, don't get me wrong. Why would you want to top that? And then 2, it's like, as a showrunner, as a person that writes a show, as a person that makes a show, it's not about topping your next season, but it's about being consistent. It's about you going, season 1 was dope, season 2 was dope, season 3 was fucking fire, season 4 fucking great. It's not about topping it. It's not about topping your next season, but it's about making sure it has a good consistency to it. And the boys ain't disappointed in that. Like, I was really curious as to how they were going to pivot in the show with everything going on. And I think they've done a great job. I think we've crossed kind of a threshold as to the reality of our life, our real life, blending into the story. Like, they've normally like put it in. Sometimes they make it very obvious what it is. But in this one, it feels very real. Like, the only thing that's not real about this whole show is the superheroes. But if you take the superheroes out, it kind of feels like the world today. And I don't think that they were too shy on that in this season, in these last 4 episodes. But all in all, it's got me interested. There's depths in this story that have gotten tremendous. Like, Frenchie's story. Was not expecting Frenchie to have this story. Was not expecting him to do this. Was not expecting how that was going to go. Kimiko's story. Love their development in season 4. Them kind of separating. Them kind of being on their own. I love seeing Kimiko interact with the other members of the boys. Like, watching her and Huey like have more conversations, seeing like the banter between them. It's not a lot, but to just see like, okay, hey, there's a mutual respect from both of them. Like, they both like fuck with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, he respects her. He don't look at her no different way. And Kimiko feels like she's not being judged. Like, she can be comfortable around him. I like that a lot of them are getting their own ways and being able to come back to try to deal with it. Like, I like that we're not harping on Starlight and Huey's story as far as a relationship. I love seeing that they're solid. I like that it's a solid foundation. We're not seeing cracks of them being together. Like, we've gotten past that. We got bigger shit to worry about. Watching Starlight's new phase, or excuse me, Annie January as she is right now. How she's developing. Butcher's story. Like, yo, near death, man. Seeing his wife. Just all of it is so good. Even Mother's Milk being the front man now. Not really seeing his OCD and really standing 10 toes down for his people. Like, it's like, nah, bro, like, we know how important we are to this, and I can't let you fuck this up no matter how much I care about you. I can't let you fuck this up for everybody else. And then just everybody's having the storyline and the growth and the evolution of all these characters just have been written so well. And I'm enjoying just seeing each and every single one of them. Even like A-Train's, like from where A-Train started to where A-Train is now, hands down one of the top character developments. Like addict, murderer, and then just like really showing like the breaking point. Like even like to the point in, I think what episode 3 where Mother's Milk was like, I think we can turn him. I think we can turn A-Train. And they were right, because it's like A-Train knows, like, bro, I can't do this no more. I see the veil. Like, I've seen it to where I've messed up from my mistakes. I've been kicked out the 7. I've been brought back in the 7. I've lost my powers. I've almost died. I damn near died. I had my heart replaced to where now I can run fast again. Like, the development of his story is excellent. The introduction to the new members of 7, like Firecracker, Sister Sage. Sister Sage didn't probably only been like in maybe, I want to say 3 episodes like that. And already Sister Sage has done way more than what's her face, the Nazi chick done coming in there. That, like, Sister Sage is a problem. Sister Sage is a real problem because you don't know whose side Sister Sage is on. As much as she's assisting Homelander in this plan, what is her end goal? Because it doesn't seem like it's going to be Homelander being the dominant person or like superheroes being the dominant species. Like, I don't get that feeling from her. So I'm very curious as to like, yo, what is this lady's real game plan when it comes to this? Because when she told Deep to lobotomize her so she can stop thinking. I'm like, yo, if you doing that to yourself, because I'm sure she's done that by herself too. I'm sure she has lobotomized herself before. Man, when I saw that, that's when I knew that woman ain't nothing to fuck with. Something going on. But this show is great, and of course, you know, like the big takeaway is Homelander. And the actor that plays Homelander needs a Oscar, bro. Not an Oscar, a Emmy. Anthony Starr has been killing it. He has been killing it as Homelander. Man, have you seen this last episode when he went back home? Man, I ain't gonna front, bro. That's up there with House of the Dragon. The first episode. That's up there. That's up there with them. Bro, when he lays it off that dude dick, I was like, Homelander, you childish. You're childish. You are childish as fuck. The dude with the heat even was far, because I was like, I get it. When the other doctor came in though, when that doctor came in and just wasn't scared of him at all, didn't say anything, just was kind of like, yo, let me talk to you for a second. That's when you knew Homelander was a monster. That's when you truly knew, like, yo, Homelander needs to be stopped. This ain't even about what you can compare him to in real life or nothing like that, but you can tell this person needs to be stopped because he's unstable. And the reason why you're unstable, because y'all took the one thing that he needed and you manipulated it and turned it into a weapon. He thinks being human is weak, which would actually make him more stronger if he actually knew how to accept love. But the fact that everybody used him, I'm not. Listen, in the chat, he did it. I ain't pausing nothing. He did it, not me. That's exactly what he did. And he didn't pause at all. He laughed, actually. He didn't pause, nothing. He laughed. Laughed at that man. They told him, put him out of his misery. Please stop. Like, please. He's done. Can't do nothing for him. Take him out of his misery. But this show you, like, that dude's a monster. When she said that, like, yo, the person that was carrying you lasered them out of the womb and floated up. That's wild. That's so wild. When I found that, when she said that, that's what I knew all about Homelander. I'm like, bro, nothing, like, you have to go because nothing is ever going to satisfy you. There's this black hole within you that is never going to be satisfied. No one can fill it. Nothing you do can fill that void. And Homelander would be the type of person that, this is the person that Lex Luthor would fear right here. Like this, the energy Lex Luthor be giving Superman, this is who he need to get at to. We need a Lex Luthor here in the boys because that's what the energy you need for this guy. Because I can see Homelander killing everybody on Earth except Supes and he still be miserable. It's still not enough. Then he will try to make other people. It's still not enough. It's not going to be enough. Then he destroys everyone. It's still not enough. It's never going to be enough for him. There is a black hole in that man's chest, and Butcher need to take him out. He needs to die. Like, his mental is completely gone. There's no saving it. And that's what we learned with the boys. So I don't know how these last 4 episodes are gonna end. We also know that season 5 will be the final season for the boys. We know we're getting some spinoffs and stuff like that. You know, like the Boys Mexico, Gen V is still gonna be happening, but we know the boys itself has one more season after this, and they are riding off into the sunset. So we shall see what happens next. But moving forward to more comic book news, the trailer for the Penguin series dropped. I mean, I don't have to say too much on this. Like, it looks great. It looks great. Colin Farrell is back as the Penguin. The Penguin looks extraordinary. It makes it looks like a coming of age Scarface type thing. You know, Scarface Mafia type. His ascension as one of the leading rogues in Batman. And it just didn't disappoint. Like, if you like the Batman film by Matt Reeves, this story for this TV show is on that same keel. And I believe they were saying we even might see the next character. Yeah. Sorry about that. I think I had some technical difficulties. They said that we're going to see one of the villains that will be featured in the Batman sequel. So I'm excited to watch it and to see what's going to happen. Because that's gonna get very interesting. That's gonna get very interesting. But I can't wait for it to drop. I can't wait for it to come out. I can't wait for it to. I don't know how many episodes we getting, but I know it's coming out on Max. But I'm excited. Walking through church with my. I'm gonna be right back. My strand of a comic book is on. Excuse me, Father. I feel you, easy not. But yeah, I don't have too much to say on it, just because we know it's gonna be great. Like, we know it's gonna be good. Like, we saw what Colin Farrell did in the Batman. Like, he gave us a new look at Penguin, and I love this version of Penguin. Not, don't get me wrong, Danny DeVito's character, great. That's why I don't like to compare the two, because I'm like, for what he did as the Penguin, it is top notch. I like the different version of the Penguin that Colin Farrell gave us. I'm not going to compare the two. I'm not going to say his is better than Danny DeVito's. I never want to do that with these type of characters, especially like when we had a conversation about the Joker and like who's the best Joker. Because I'm like, all of them play different Jokers. So I can't compare the two. Like, the closest I can even pair with the Jokers is Jack Nicholson and then the Hispanic guy that played him in the original TV show with Adam West, because they were the similar Joker. And that's if you decide you want to compare the two, which I still try not to. So that's why it's like, it's hard for me to when we talk about who's the best of it, because they give different versions of them that stands out. And Colin Farrell isn't doing no different with this Penguin, or Oz as they call him. So I look forward to seeing the eyes of Gotham through a villain, and why you can see the flaws of why the Batman is here. You can see the flaws in it, the good things and the flaws in it, by what's going on. So I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for it to drop. And then, speaking of some other things I couldn't wait to drop. Whoo! Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. Now, usually, I try to keep wrestling with the Women's Wrestling Talk podcast. You can catch me there normally on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for the WWT Live. But man, listen, I had to talk about this. The Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six debuted this past Monday on Monday Night Raw. If you're not a wrestling fan, if you are a wrestling fan, this group is a creative from the late great Bray Wyatt, aka Wyndham Rotunda. Rest in peace to him. He had a vision that he had created, that he had displayed throughout WWE for over, I want to say maybe like over the span of 8 years. Gave us incredible moments, has garnered so much respect for from all of the wrestling community, all of the wrestlers, everything. And it was unfortunate that he did pass, I want to say about 3 years ago, due to heart complications and COVID. But his brother, his brother Taylor, also known as Bo Dallas, played one of his newer characters, Uncle Howdy, when Bray returned. And so with his passing, his brother has picked up the mantle and is carrying on with the concept of the Wyatts. And they did not miss a beat this past Monday. Because of copyright reasons, I can't show the video. So, but when I tell you, one of the things that were promoted through here was a massacre was coming. And a massacre they did. And their introduction into the WWE, I'm telling you, like, it made almost any fan of Bray Wyatt, it made you tear up. Because, like, if you know who Bray Wyatt is, you know the creativity that he has put within his characters for the people that he's created throughout these characters. To see this vision come to life the way it did, it was straight cinema. I know it's supposed to be a sports entertainment show. Man, this was pure cinema what they gave us. 5 members were introduced. We believe that there's one more that's going to be introduced here, but I look so forward to Monday Night Raw and to see what's going to come of them. And so, like I said, I know we don't normally talk about wrestling, but I have to tell you just the impact that it made for everyone that was a fan. I believe their clip when they debuted, within 4 hours, it was at 25 million. That's how watched this video was. Like, I still watch this video. And matter of fact, what we'll do is after the episode, in the Q&A, I'll probably play the video. I'll play the video for those that stay after the Q&A, just so you can see it. But yeah, the Wyatt Six are here, and their debut was nothing short of amazing. And I look forward to seeing how their story plays out into the WWE universe, because it is going to be a wild ride. Now, to get into our final segments of movies, but before we get into movies, I don't really know where this falls. So we're gonna go movie / television. Harry Potter, aka Daniel Radcliffe, man. Shout out to Daniel Radcliffe, bro, for winning his first Tony Award. All right. And no, it was not for Harry Potter. Just so we're very clear on that. It was not for Harry Potter. It was for his portrayal of Charlie Kringus. I hope I said that right. The lyricist and best friend of Franklin Shepherd in the musical Merrily We Roll Along. It has been going throughout the country, I believe, and a phenomenal play. If you're in the play in theater, this is one of those that they say, hey, don't miss this. It is a great show. Daniel Radcliffe does a phenomenal job playing, once again, Charlie. And in his first nomination, he achieved his first win as well, receiving a Tony for, I believe, Best Supporting Actor in the film, if not, I believe, Best Actor. So congratulations to Daniel Radcliffe, man. Just showing you that he's not a one-trick pony with Harry Potter, and he really isn't. He's done a lot of other films and TV spots just to show you, man, I got versatility. I can do a lot, and he's not stopping with it. And then also, too, a special extra congratulations to him, because not only did he win a Tony Award, but he also won another constellation prize, won another great reward, which is the title of Father. He also, this past weekend, welcomed in his new son, along with his longtime girlfriend. I believe her name is Erin Dark. They had him in April 2023. So he got to celebrate his first Father's Day as a dad. So congratulations to Daniel Radcliffe. Just phenomenal news, in my opinion. So moving forward to some other people that ain't one trick ponies, it has been announced that Tom Holland will be returning as Nathan Drake as they are in development for a Uncharted sequel. It was announced, I believe, this week. Not a lot of us information has been given, but we know he is returning as well as Mark Wahlberg as Sully, and the rest of the cast has yet to been disclosed. Now, I'm excited for it. Don't get me wrong. I liked the first Uncharted movie. I thought it was great, but my only thing with this, man, and I have to be honest. Mark Wahlberg should have been Nathan Drake. Mark Wahlberg should be starring in this film, and you should have gotten an older Sully to play along with Mark Wahlberg. Like, I don't, not to say I don't get it. I understand because, they want to do franchise. Tom Holland's the better way to go because we know we can get him to do more stunts. We know we can get him to be in here a little bit longer. That type of stuff, physical conditioning, everything. For Mark Wahlberg, I understand, other obligations, other movies and television shows he may be helping produce, create. So I understand why they went with the more obvious choice as far as longevity is concerned. I just still, as far as the aesthetic of the game, Mark Wahlberg is Nathan Drake. Like, why is he not Nathan Drake? Why is he not the star of Uncharted? Like, that's the only thing that irked me about it so bad. But the movie itself was good. Like, the action was good. It was in classic fashion of Uncharted. So, hopefully they can continue that moving into the sequel. But as more information comes, we'll talk about it here on Straight Out of a Comic Book. So we'll see. It is something that's still on my radar. I'm not going to say I'm excited. I should take that back. I'm not excited, but I am intrigued. So, what we can get into is our main topic. And our main topic is Blade. So, let's jump into the latest news. We have had another actor who has backed out of Blade, and that is actor Delroy Lindo. Delroy Lindo has backed out of the Blade movie. It was announced this week. As well as we know the director has also backed out of Blade as well. And then more news within Blade is that we heard that one of the scripts that had been presented was that Blade was supposedly finna be set in the 1920s. I just want to know, like, is it a complicated story? Like, is it like for some reason is Blade just like hard for the writers to grasp? Like, I'm so confused at why this movie is having so many problems, which is why you should just cancel the whole thing at this point. Cancel this whole shit. Because what was Blade gonna do in the 1920s? Did they even wear leather in the 1920s? Like what? It just pisses me off because this is a simple story. And I don't mean simple in a bad way. Like, this is a simple story for you to make happen. I don't understand why we're running into these things like this. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like you have so many options to do stuff with this. And the thing is, it's like you can either use the villains that he has or introduce us into something different. And if and the one thing that I can say about this, the biggest thing that I can say about this is the one that you could use is complicated. And that I get. Like one of his biggest villains is Morbius. And we know Sony owns the right to Morbius. And we know that they put out Morbius. And we know Morbius didn't go too well. But I wouldn't have and the thing was, I feel like they did drop the ball on that because Morbius should have never been a movie. Morbius should have never came out. Oh, wow. Dang, Bray died last August. Wow. It felt like so long ago. It hasn't even been a year. Yo, that's how much I've, just talking about the Y6. That's how much I've tried to put that behind my head. Like, it felt like during the pandemic. I don't know why. And I feel like the pandemic just happened so long ago. Like, yo, that really did just happen. You are right. That really just happened. It felt like 3 years ago. Jeez. And even to that point, like, it felt like, like now with all the stuff that happened in wrestling, like, yo, like WrestleMania, like XL, feel like that happened almost a year ago. Like I feel like the Royal Rumble finna come up in like a few months. Like, that's just how much stuff that just didn't happen in wrestling with it. But thank you for correcting me, Joaquin Owens. Thank you for that. It just, I wanted to put it in like it didn't happen. Now I'm in my feelings again because it really did happen in August. Fuck. But anyway, back to Blade though. I understand that you can't use Morbius, although this is where you should have introduced Morbius. This was the perfect introduction for Jared Leto's Morbius to have been introduced, and that be Blade's main villain. And then, too, if you wanted Morbius to turn him like it was in the Spider-Man comic book, that worked along just well. But, for some reason, what's they faces just, I don't know. We don't know what they doing over there at Sony at this point. At this point, we don't know. But, for all other purposes, though, like, Baron Blood could have been somebody. Or the Bloods in general, because, you got Baroness Blood as well. There's so many of these different characters that could have been used for Blade. And to be honest with you, it's like the biggest one to even use, you act like you just don't want to utilize it, which is vampires. Because here's my thing about it, like, Blade don't necessarily need a major villain, or at least even to a recognizable villain. It doesn't need one immediately, if that makes sense. Like, you could have gotten away with Blade showing this world that Blade lives in, because we haven't seen that world yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen Avengers. We've seen a little bit of, like, Moon Knight. We've seen the magical side. We've seen a small slither of your world in Werewolf by Night. But we haven't seen the world that Blade lives in. So that's one I did not. Again, I don't think that you should put that fully on a Blade movie. That's just my opinion. But if it's like you have to write one, there it is. But this whole thing about it being set in the 20s, it being he has to protect this princess vampire and stuff like that. It's like, yo, like, are you just finding difficulty on what story to use? Is that what it is? I'm so confused. And then also too, you don't necessarily have to keep it with just vampires. If I'm being honest, if you wanted to, you could legit have other magical creatures be in this film. It don't have to just be vampires. It can be all sorts of mythical, because he didn't just fight vampires. That was his specialty. But it's like, yo, like this man fought dark elves. This man fought like I think there was like what? There was like boy thing, like man thing, like mixed in with this other dude and stuff like that. Like, I believe he's even battled Null at one time. You know, I don't like I said, like fate, like fist up and stuff and everything. But like, it's not just vampires that Blade goes after. So it's like, I don't get what's the issue. What's the problem with this movie? Like, what's stopping y'all? What are y'all saying? Like, no, this isn't right. Send it back. No, we don't like this. Send it back. No, we're not fucking with this. Send it back. Like, what is going on? Like, I don't get it. But I still go back to my original point that we talked about on the previous episode, that I don't think Blade needs a movie. I think you need to give Blade the Hawkeye treatment and sprinkle him into movies and build the world that is needed with other major characters. So then that way we can determine what we want to see from Blade. Do we want a full-length movie? Do we want a Marvel Presents? Or do we want a TV series? Because I love Blade. I think Blade is a phenomenal character, but let's keep it a buck. Blade ain't the A-list characters. He ain't. He's second tier. He's not a top tier character. We just gotta throw that out there. He's a top tier favorite, but in the Marvel universe, he's not. He's in the second class, if anything. And even too, some folks might even argue with that, because you got a long list of people that can end up in the second tier. So it's not necessary that he needs a movie fully, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I would feel more comfortable with a TV show, so you give us more time for us to adjust to that world too. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's happening with it, but something got to change, man. Something got to change, and I think the change should be just cancel Blade. Just cancel it. Like, cancel it and say, hey, we're going to put you in the bigger grand picture, and we're going to come back to you in phase 6. We'll see where you at after the multi-saga, and then we'll trickle that in. But for now, it's just not looking good. It's just not looking good. And I stand on that. I think you should just cancel the whole project rather than giving us some crap, because the last thing Marvel Studios needs, it can't take no more bombs right now. You need some back-to-back hitters. Deadpool and Wolverine is gonna give you a hit. Agatha is gonna give you a hit. I don't care what nobody say. Agatha gonna be fire. But you need some consistent hits these next 2 to 3 years. And with all the stuff we hearing about Blade, it's not sounding good. It's not sounding good. I say cancel that joint and find the best way to put him in there, in the MCU. Because if not, you're going to give us a bad taste of Blade, and that's going to backfire on you real bad. Real bad. And that's what you don't want. You don't want that. So, we're going to see. We're going to see what's going to happen. But that is going to be it for today's episode of Straight Outta a Comic Book. As we said, if you're here on the live, we will be doing a Q&A afterwards. So just stick around. But if not, it is always appreciated that y'all are here. So before we get up out of here, though, make sure that you follow all of our socials. So it's Straight Outta a Comic Book, just like you see it read right here. Straight Outta a Comic Book at Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. All of those are there. You'll see the pop-ups come at the end as well. Make sure you follow. Hit the like button on the YouTube video. Subscribe to the channels. Follow the social medias, man. Just keep making sure we keep this thing growing. Shout out to everybody that came in here today. And yeah, we will catch you next time. I've been your host, Will Pharaoh. Peace. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere if you live. Don't go nowhere if you live. If you live, stay your ass right where you at. This is the Q&A session. Q&A session time now. It's a Q&A. So now we just shooting the shit. We live. I can smoke weed now because we live. But yeah, this is the Q&A session of Straight Out of a Comic Book. Where we just shooting the shit. We just shooting the shit. So yeah, so we're gonna answer some questions. So first question came from, matter of fact, before I do that, this is what I'm gonna do. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure I remember how to do this. Fuck. Yep, that's what it was. Boom, man. Look at me. Look at that. So yeah, this is what we're gonna do. No, that's not what I wanted to do. That wasn't it. I remember what I wanted to do now. I wanted to do this. Window capture. So let's go here. 1 second, y'all. That way y'all can see I want to put up the comments on here. So then that way we're not like, I'm not having to read everything off. And y'all can see the questions that pop up. That's wild. Boom, here we go. There we go. Put that right here so everybody can see it. There we go. Boom. Not everybody can see all the comments rather than it just being like the Twitter stuff. So first question we have is from James Woodworth. My only question, how can we help as fans? First of all, thank you for that question. If tell people to follow. Just tell people to follow. Tune into the lives. Y'all have already been great already. And it's just, this thing is just now on really me of being consistent, making sure that I let y'all know that these things are happening. So like how I was last week, putting out like, hey, these people are going to be on. This is what we're talking about. Make sure you join us. But like telling your friends like, hey, come check out the live. Come follow this. Like, hey, come join the discussion. Come hop in the Discord with us. Just being able to support like that. And I will start doing like contests to be able to give away and stuff. So just things like that. Like y'all already doing a lot. Like right now, like across these boards, we're sitting at like 60 people watching this right now. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all that are watching this. But yeah, that's really the best answer I can give right now for that, of just being able to just like, yo, tell a friend like, hey, come check this out. Hey, come check this guy out. Like, yo, it'd be a good time over here, and they be talking about some dope stuff and some dope content. So just like, again, support the Straight Out of a Comic Book pages, like build those things, support all of those pages, and keep that consistency going for them. As you can see right there. Support as much as you can. So if you're not following, if you're on YouTube, and go follow the Twitch page, Straight Out of a Comic Book, my page, Will Pharaoh. If you're on Twitch, go support the YouTubes, go support the Instagrams, go support the socials. So then that way y'all stay up to date with what's coming out, and as more stuff rolls out, we'll be able to do more things. But y'all are doing it right now, if I'm just being honest, Jane Woodward. I know I don't have like a really great answer for it, but it's like doing what y'all are doing now, showing up, is a big help. And if I do need more help. I'll ask for it and stuff like that. But I do like that you asked that question. So, as I said, this is the Q&A. So for everybody that is here, we can, ask your questions, throw them in the chats, and I'll answer them. Eric Elliott asks, can you imagine if they got the Afro Samurai team to make an animated Blade series? That also make a whole lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense, especially with all the animes that I see coming out, like the Terminator and all of that stuff. Like, Blade animation with the Afro Samurai would be the way to go. That would be a great addition to Marvel animation, along with X-Men 97. That'd be dope. And I think that'd be a great tester too, to see what people would like when it comes to Marvel and the Blade character. Like, it's like, yo, I want to see. I liked how y'all did Deacon Frost in the animated series. I want to see him brought again to life. Or I love the Dracula story in the animated version. Like, a live action like Dracula would be dope. Like, it gives you that type of hype. Because that's what X-Men 97 did in a sense. Like, we like the direction X-Men 97 went in at the end. So it's like, imagine putting that as a live action. X-Men 97's animation was not as good as the original to me. If you're talking about how it was drawn as animation, if you're talking about how it was drawn, King Mike Hall, I completely agree with you. I like the original animation style way better. If that's what you're referring to, King Mike Hall, and not the story itself, but the animation itself, I agree with you. I like the original 97 animation way better. Like, I don't know who drew that, but man, they landed it. Like, this one was just, I get it was up to date. It's digital, so it's a lot different. But I definitely like the older style. I think the older style didn't make them look as cartoonish. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense in what I'm saying. They look, I took them more seriously. Like, this one is updated. So it kind of almost, it's like, it kind of, you know what it reminded me of like X-Men Evolution a little bit. But the only difference between X-Men Evolution, they didn't use as bright of colors. I feel like in X-Men, this 97 one, the colors were extremely bright. I think that's what threw a lot of people off with the animation too. It was extremely bright. And in the first one, it was more of a lower down tone. Like, the vibrancy of the colors wasn't so turned up. Like, it felt like somebody turned up the saturation on the colors and just made everything just pop. And it was just like, yo, but that's not how we be viewing X-Men. Like Cyclops yellow was yellow. If you get what I'm saying. Like, his yellow was yellowing on X-Men 97. Like, in the other ones, it was more toned down colors, so it made it feel more realistic. And that's what I liked about it. I like that one a lot more too. Damn, Eric wasn't hype about X-Men 97. I was. Hey, we all have our opinions. I ain't no disrespect to your opinion either. I enjoyed it. I thought X-Men 97 was great. But hey, it may not be for everybody, and for some people it was all right. And I can understand the point of where you're coming from with it. So that's why I'm not finna like bash or anything like that. I'll be like, you tripping. Like, nope, everybody got their opinion. James Woodward asked me, how would you direct Blade if given a budget and a creative control? All right, so I'm gonna take direct in a different route. So here is how I would do Blade. How I would do Blade is is creating the layers that are needed. So if we're being honest, Blade is considered to be what we would say like a Spider-Man and a Daredevil. The man on the street level is a street level type of character. So for one, I need to establish the street level. That's one thing we have yet to really do in the MCU. So we have not established the street level as of yet. And if you give thought to it, we don't know what the real day-to-day is. Everything we've done has been isolated. Like when we had Spider-Man Homecoming, we were isolated to his world of Spider-Man, but not the world outside of Spider-Man. New York didn't really play a character in Spider-Man's, if that makes sense. Like you didn't see him too much in New York, except like in the beginning movie where he went to go get a sandwich. That was about it. So we need to establish street level. And I think with Daredevil being able to come out, Punisher, so for me in a direction, I would let all of that come out first. I would let your Daredevil come out. I would let Punisher come out, Thunderbolts, Captain America. So now we have the street level organized as far as like perception is. It's like, okay, now we know what's happening on the streets when we're not dealing with galactic and when we're not dealing with worldwide. We know what's going on out here. So for myself, once all of that is established, I would direct Blade as being this bridge, kind of like Doctor Strange. As Doctor Strange is the bridge to the magical world and how we see with those type of things, I want Blade to also be that type of anchor to this world. And I would like him to be the head of like, okay, you have the wizardry. I know the monsters. I want him to head that up. Like I want him to be like when people see Man-Thing, they're like, what's that called? He knows what that is already. So I want him to be that bridge of just like, yo, from the street level, as y'all see it already established, that's great. But you have no idea what we hold back at night. Because that's the same thing that Strange kind of tells them. It's like, you know, like how he told Tony Stark, it's like, I'm preserving your reality, you douchebag. Like you have no idea the strings that I have to hold in order to keep your little punk ass reality from staying the same. Again, Joaquin, I'm a huge Bray Wyatt fan. Huge Bray Wyatt fan. I'm talking about when he was Husky Harris. And I was like, you don't need to be Husky Harris. I've watched that documentary. I cried when I watched that documentary. Again, I just messed up the date. That's it. I'm a huge fan of him. I just, again, messed up the date. That was all. It feels, but I mess up a lot of times and dates because I don't be knowing what the date is. I know dates by fucking movies. I'd be like, oh yeah, Deadpool and them finna come out. Oh, we must be in July. Well, we're almost in July. Because they're showing it so much. We must be somewhere in the summertime. I don't be knowing what date it is and what time it is. That's just me though. That's just me in general. So now that we've established the street level and this bridge, and we have Blade being the bridge, what I would want from Blade is how I would direct Blade. Blade has to be part of a plan that's being conducted by somebody higher. And by somebody higher, I don't mean a Deacon Frost. It can't be a Deacon Frost. I'm trying to think who I would have. Ooh, pardon me. I'm trying to think of who I would have as this. Okay, so for this sake in introducing, I would have him. I would have him. You know what it would be? You know what it would be? I got it. I got it. So what it would be is his introduction is he is currently chasing. He is currently tracking down who are called the Bloods. Blood. So you have Baron Blood, and then you have Baroness Blood. And again, so though, and then even two. Yes, to answer your question that just popped up, Voodoo's. So would you rather have Blade Netflix type show along with Daredevil, Punisher, the other ones they made, lead into a movie with all of them? Not all of them, because I would like it to lead into Midnight Suns. And so that's what I'm gonna get to in the directions, because this is my main direction for Blade. Is I'm not getting to Avengers, I'm getting to Midnight Suns. So that's my direction that I would be moving in with Blade. Is I want to get him there. The Blood Coven. So the Blood Coven isn't even they not even the tippy top. I want to say that would be the Generals. That's who he's chasing after right now. And they already have their people, which of course vampires, that are chasing him. And I don't need it to, and I just, for Blade, I just need one person from the MCU, not a big person, but a person from the MCU that he connects with in order for this to happen. And it needs to be on street level. It doesn't necessarily have to be Matthew Murdock. I wouldn't mind it being the Punisher. I wouldn't mind it being the Punisher. Or maybe Luke Cage. Because Luke Cage has iron skin, I could see that as a potential team up for him to help. But again, now there is a connection that leads to the MCU, because you have Blade trying to get to Midnight Suns, but Blade has shown either Luke Cage or Punisher what's going on in that world. That's going to lead back to the Defenders. That's going to lead back to Thunderbolts. That's going to lead back to the Avengers. And then that's going to lead to them looking. Now, here's the thing. Spider-Man is technically a street-level hero. Don't want to get him involved just yet. Why? Because Spider-Man 4 needs to come out. We need to see Spider-Man established in New York City first before introducing Spider-Man. We cannot give, like, we can give images of Spider-Man in somewhere and stuff like that, but we have to let Tom Holland's Spider-Man get established in New York City before he's introduced to Blade. Because we can't just toss him in there. Now, again, there can be mention of him. We can see him in images and stuff like that. We can show all of those things, even like passing by TV and you see him and stuff. But I don't want the team up just yet. We would be rushing that. But that's why I like Luke Cage, because Blade can hide through there. He can hide in Harlem. Like, that could be his setup point, is in Harlem, which is why it comes along across Luke Cage and stuff. And if so, with him having Luke Cage, you have other people that he'd be able to be alongside with, which again is the Defenders. But the Defenders are a direct line to Doctor Strange. And then that's your next connection with Midnight Suns. Now we have two of them linked together already for the Midnight Suns. We have Doctor Strange, we have Blade. And I believe the other ones, let me see. The other ones is, no, I need to know the current ones. I want to know the current ones. Is Elsa Bloodstone. We've already seen Elsa Bloodstone. We saw her in Werewolf by Night. So that's another one that can be seen in the Blade series. Yeah, we also have two black heroes on screen together. That's why, and see, that's why I picked Cage. Cage has a valuable reason why he's there. Again, you don't have nobody that can bite him, so he can't get sick. can't get infected. So you had a perfect shield to help you out, but now you also have those introductions to the remaining MCU that we know, because we know Luke Cage knows Daredevil, Daredevil knows She-Hulk, we know She-Hulk knows Wong. Wong is also a part of the Midnight Suns, at least in the current state, and we've already seen a few of them. So you have Spider-Man, and again, if you're going, and this is too, if you're going off the current members. So the current members are Blade, Doctor Strange, Elsa Bloodstone. Once again, we saw her in Midnight Tongue. If they bite Luke Cage, you are a fool, Eric. If they bit his tongue like that, he deserves that. Brother Voodoo, and again, Brother Voodoo could be put into season 2. And again, too, even what I'm explaining can still be the show or movie. But the sequel would need to include, or the second season would need to include Brother Voodoo to be tied in. And we've already seen Moon Knight. Moon Knight is already there. So we have already seen his introduction. All you got to do is come to America, and we good. Wong can introduce him, because that's your conduit also to bring all these people in. Wong can literally just do this, go talk to him, and then get him on what needs to be done. Man-Thing has already been shown. Werewolf by Night. Elsa Bloodstone can hit up old boy that was the werewolf, say, hey, we need your help. Hey, I can't do it right now, but I'm gonna send the homie. Man-Thing. Then you got Ghost Rider. We just got to create Ghost Rider. They already talking about bringing back Iron Fist. And then the current Spider-Man is Scarlet Spider, but for MCU's sake, I feel like they'll use Tom Holland. So I would say we'll round it out with that Spider-Man, Tom Holland. So again, that's my end game to get to, is Midnight Suns. And I feel like Midnight Suns should take on someone like Mephisto. Like I think within that world, that Avengers style should face Mephisto. So that's the direction I would have Blade getting in. And so in doing so, like I said, we start off with Blade, taking on I like the way you called it, Eric, the Blood Coven. The Blood Coven is working with, who did I say? What's his name? Baron von Strucker. So they're working with, and it doesn't necessarily have to, if you remember Baron von Strucker, that's the one that created, that helped create Scarlet and Quicksilver in Age of Ultron 2. Now, I know he died. I know Ultron wound up killing Eric von Strucker. But I would like for someone to have been continuing his work. So it's a different one. So it could be his son and everything. So it could be Eric von Strucker, if that's what he want to call themselves. But just because I know like they killed him off in the MCU. I would put him working with the Blood Coven to be creating a synthetic virus that can up the army that they need. They're trying to up their numbers. So I would even like it to be where they're not fully everywhere. So the vampires aren't fully everywhere. I think that that's kind of cool that it's not fully infiltrated yet, if that makes sense. Like right now, it's still like Blade can somewhat contain this thing along with the others, but it's about to hit a pivotal point. Like the vampires are getting stronger and he's needed and he's going to need help. So in this series, we would get introduced to him. And again, the world can be, but let's say like vampires haven't necessarily gotten fully into New York yet. And they know like that's a mecca for this pharmaceutical company. And then that's when you can even tie in AIM. So like AIM is the one that don't even know that they funding it. I wouldn't lead those way. I wouldn't say a cult, bigger than a cult. Bigger than a cult. I didn't know it was a solid quote. My bad. Bigger than a cult. I don't want it that small, but I do still kind of want it like Coven size. So maybe even two. Like however big you would think a coven could be carried. Just one coven though. The bloodline coven. The blood coven. But I'm gonna acknowledge my tribal chief as well, Roman Reigns. But yeah, the blood coven. I would have them have like, I don't want to say massive because massive still sounds like a lot, but cult sounds small. I'd say like they've been doing a thing. Like we close to a real like outbreak where it's kind of out of control. Not like where, oh my God, they're taking over like a zombie apocalypse, but to the point where it's like Blade is like, shit, man, I'm now at an uphill battle. Then we start getting to around like how the original Blade was. Like they fucking everywhere. They done got themselves established everywhere. I don't want them at full power like that just yet. I want it to be like a battle between for like the Blood Coven and Blade. And Blade is knowing like if I cut the heads of the snake off, then that will end a lot of this. But Baron von Strucker's child is helping them create something to be able to spread their defenses more. So it's like a virus that if you take it, you become one. And even into this point, Blade does not necessarily have to be a vampire yet. Because in the comic book he wasn't. It wasn't until Morbius bit him. But in this one, that could be a way that he becomes half vampire. Since we can't use Morbius. I would rather it be him than him be attached to somebody else and then people get mad. Like I would like it to be like, yo, this virus that they give him, it goes very wrong and turns him into the hybrid that he is. And then that's when you start to also if it's a show, that's when the thirst comes in. I want to see Blade not be able to control that shit. Like I love the Wesley Snipes how they did it, but it was like we never saw the thirst take over. I would love to see that thirst take over and like Whistler have to pull him back in. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be my direction in that in him doing that. And then as that's happening, this is again, so they're being ran by somebody else. What if this is an off-branch Weapon X program with vamps? Yeah, so that's why I even say bringing in like Baron von Strucker because he could be part of Weapon X. That's what I'm saying. That's again, I'm mixing in like a science guy that you know they would head someone up with that. So even too, like you say, if Weapon X, other than AIM, like those who are helping fund it, and you have like William Stryker Jr. or something like that, that's also helping. You don't want Jared Leto to show up just to bite air. No, I do, but again, that's a Sony issue. So again, like we like, you know, the original question was how I would direct if I had budget and creative. They're not gonna give us Morbius. Like they're only giving us Spider-Man. That's what I'm saying. Like the only reason why they got Venom because Venom led to a different movie that they were going to be putting out. So I don't know if Morbius is available to us. If Morbius is available to us, this changes things. So that ultimate time, like, so it would still be the same thing, but instead of Von Strucker, you would use Morbius. So it would be, it's exactly how we were. But that's my only thing with that, Eric, because like technically he didn't get switched. So we would have to establish in the MCU how did he, you know, blip into this thing after and stuff. Well, Eric, I get the flashback part, but you gotta remember we would have to establish a 616 Morbius. So that would have to happen. We would have to have a 616 Morbius and have Jared Leto play that version. That's the only way. Like this would have to be something like that. But so for this sake, as we're talking, I'll use that. So because again, it's still the same story. It's still the same story. It's just instead of the Von Strucker, it's Morbius. And then Morbius winds up taking the shit, becoming this, and, you know, getting bit by the bat, turning into this. Because, again, he's using bats as samples and vampire blood as samples and stuff. And then it turns him into that. And then he winds up biting Blade. So that could be added. That could be added into this. But then after that, it leads to like, okay, it's a bigger hierarchy than what Blade thought, and he would need help. And so then you have like Elsa Bloodstone. Elsa Bloodstone can have connections with Wong. And so that's how Blade gets introduced to Wong, because Elsa Bloodstone can be somebody that we see again, because we've already see her in the series, and she's helping Blade, rather than some vampire woman that wants to help. Like, let her be that. And then she knows Wong. She has direct contact with Wong because, you know, Wong is in on these things. See, that's the thing. I wouldn't want him bitten by Dracula. Because then it's like you tying it with that lineage and stuff like that. I would want to keep him away from Dracula. Like, I want to keep Dracula out as much as possible. Like, I want like one of his biggest people was Deacon Frost. Like, Deacon Frost should be one of his big ones. And that's why I would try to keep Dracula out as much as I could until like it would be time to mention him. But I don't want Dracula nowhere near this thing. I want my vampires to be just a little bit different. Is this meant to be an origin story? No origin story. No origin story. We right into the shit. I don't want no origin story. We right into the shit. We can have flashbacks as like Luke talks to Whistler. He can tell him about some things. You might have like one episode where you kind of like tell the past and stuff like that. But if it's a movie, it's like flashbacks. See that right there? The fact you said Blackula, that's why I don't want it to happen. Because then it becomes a joke. It starts becoming a joke. And I don't want it to turn into a joke for his particular story. Like, I want his stuff to be like gritty and real. So that's why I'm just like, as much as I get it, as much as we know we want to hear it, it would be a funny joke, but we know how much the internet would expand that stuff, and they take it to where it's not serious and everything. It's too on the nose. It's too on the nose. Because you can even see Luke Cage going, so you Blackula? Then it become corny. You know what I'm saying? Like, then it becomes corny. So I just don't want to see that happen. So Blade's a veteran. Blade, yeah. For the most part, Blade been in the shit. Blade know what it is. Like, not old, but at least like a veteran for a hero is like 6 years. Like, if you've been doing this for more than like 5, you are considered a veteran. Kind of like Batman year 1, but I'd give him like year 2, maybe 3. And I'd probably say like maybe, I'd say he's been in it. But still confined in his world. Maybe let's give him like 10 years. Like, he'd been doing this for a decade of fighting these things and finding this stuff. But in this series, like, again, he meets Elsa Bloodstone, introduces him to Wong, and then that's when Wong introduces him to Doctor Strange. And then in whatever tie-in that Doctor Strange is now leading into, I don't know who his villain's gonna be in 4, but whatever it leads to, I'm gonna still go Mephisto. I still want Mephisto. I would want that to be in there, and that way we already know why they're coming together. And then you get Wong having to go look for, and this can roll into season 2 or the sequel. You have Wong that go look for Midnight, brings together Man-Thing. Luke can talk to Iron Fist. And then we just need Ghost Rider introduced to however he's going to be introduced into the MCU. And then Dr. Voodoo can be one of Blade's like kind of rival / villains in the second one. And oh no, you know what? No, not Mephisto. Lilith. That's who's the big dog. So we don't use Mephisto just yet. You got Lilith, because Lilith is the mother of demons. So that's who's pulling these strings. That's who wants these vampires' defenses bumped up. That's the one that's been working behind the scenes. She would be their Thanos, basically, for the Midnight Suns run. Ghost Riders was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's one version though. That's the Hispanic guy too. So Johnny Blaze has not been shown yet in the MCU. So we still waiting on the Johnny Blaze. And remember too, the Ghost Rider's powers can transfer. Can transfer. So who's to say like the one from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. lost it and don't have it no more. And it goes to Johnny Blaze because it's needed now. To be honest, I think Mephisto is somewhat needed to introduce Ghost Rider. That's why I moved Lilith here instead of Mephisto, because I don't know how long they'll drag out Ghost Rider, so I don't want to utilize Mephisto as the main villain just yet, but it can be in conjunction. Because, I mean, Mephisto would be, like, above Lilith. So that's why I was like, you got to get tiers of it. So Lilith is more low key then in to the Midnight Suns that they were Avengers. And then Mephisto is the Thanos of Midnight Suns. And like you said, that's when you get like your Ghost Riders and stuff. But that's how I'd lead him in there. Like warrior type feels, but a small wearing faction. Exactly. So that's how I would start direct Blade into there. And again, these can either work as movies or can work as shows. Look, if it isn't Miss Sly Cooper, we would see, say her name and she appears. I was just singing your praises of how you put your foot in my ass about being a moderator on my Twitch and stuff when I don't know how to ask for help and how you cuss me out. But that's how, Sly's a good friend. And Sly, we got 67 people in here across all our channels. So y'all say what up to Sly. Shout out to Sly, man. Good friend, always helpful, always wanted to real. Yeah, look. Before I even said it, Big Beck 70 beat me to it. She's the realest. Yeah, before I even got a chance to say it, she already got it. So, but yeah, that's how I would move about directing Blade if you gave me control. There you go. Yes, Sly. Exactly. She is definitely an aggressive, supportive friend. She is definitely one of those that's like, man, this person been messing with me. Who I gotta fight? You ain't gotta fight nobody. It was the lady at Walmart. I don't think she needs to be beat up. She has gone through enough. She works at Walmart. You don't need to do that. But yeah. That's how I would direct Blade. That's the direction I take Blade in. And then that's how you get them to Midnight Suns. That's how you introduce everybody. So that'd be my way to get Blade into there. So, but this is a Q&A. Feel free to ask your questions. I'm not going to say I'm answering anything. I'm not going to throw that out there now. But you throw the questions, we got them. Would you keep Mahershala? Absolutely. I would keep Mahershala. And the only reason why I would keep Mahershala is because Wesley Snipes approved it. He was good with that decision. So I would keep Wesley. I would keep Mahershala. I think Mahershala brings this smoothness to Blade. This smoothness and also that chaoticness. Like, again, I remember Mahershala being Cottonmouth. And like, I don't know why when I saw that, like, that was Blade, but he just wasn't like, he was for the good guys, not beating people up and fucking them up in a club in front of a Biggie poster. Let's see. I'm looking to start editing as a potential future. Advice or starting points you would recommend? Ooh. My tooth hurt. Oh, I ain't got a cavity. No, I think I did. No, I was biting down on that shit last night. That's why I grind my teeth at night. You gotta that shit. I don't know what I be dreaming about, but for some reason. If you looking into potential editing, one, I would recommend Adobe Facebook. What up, Finito, Brandito? Welcome. We're just doing the Q&A right now. So feel free to ask questions. You can get Adobe Premiere. Adobe Premiere is probably one of the best ones to use. If you have a Mac, you can start with Final Cut. I believe that's still free for Mac. Yeah, because I answered that Blade versus Cottonmouth that ain't a fair thing. Blade versus Jimmy Bones. Ooh. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I feel like Blade would win just because he know magic. And I feel like Jimmy Bones is just a demon that's still hell-bent on doing stuff. So I felt like Jimmy wouldn't have it all together. And Blade would find a way to defeat him, not just by fighting. But if you have a Mac, Final Cut Pro. If you don't have a Mac, or even if you still have a Mac, you can get Adobe Premiere. Adobe Premiere is really good because it also comes with a lot of tutorials and stuff. And figure out what type of editing you want to do. So there's different types of editing. There's multicam editing, there's single cam editing, there's color editing, there's sound, all of that stuff. So think about what it is that you want to do and what you really wanted to edit, and then start trying to find ways to practice on those. Like just creating like what we call what's the word? Like creating a reel of things that you edited. So those are things to consider in going to that. Like, do you want to like edit documentaries? Do you want to edit people's reels? Because that is also a business that is a growing business that everybody can definitely use. Even outside of some of these like AI programs that they say can do it all themselves. But that is where it starts to get, that's where it's like where you start to think of it. So if that's what you're trying to go into, those are some of the things to consider. Do you think Disney is purposely running Marvel and Star Wars as a way of killing their competition? I don't think as much as Disney trying to kill competition as much as they know it's a demand from their consumer. Because let's face it, like, who's topping Disney? Nobody is beating Disney right now. Like, Disney is the head honcho. And adding those two things, I just think that since there's such popular demand for it, those are the titles that they push. And that just also happens to unfortunately be killing their competition. But I don't think now too is like competition has changed a little bit. It's because we got social now, so people can tell you what they want to see. People can tell you what the next big thing is, and with Marvel and Star Wars, like you have a vast library that you haven't even really scratched the surface of. So I think that's the reason why they push it out so much, is because like, hey, we could just do this, and that, and the third, as opposed to Disney. Disney has a lot of their titles out already. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got to make this up as they go. Like, them Disney princesses ain't written down somewhere nowadays. Like, they got to go look for that shit. Like, somebody had to give them the idea for Moana, and we're like, all right, let's try it. Let's try Inside Out. Like, that takes a lot of time and effort, as opposed to Marvel and Star Wars that already has a vast catalog that it's like, oh, we just got to pay to bring this shit to life. Oh, let's do it. And you can just keep that running. So I think that's why they do it, but I don't think they do it to kill their competition. As soon as we get this Mario stuff set up with my homies, y'all gonna be able to play, because I know I can invite you to the rooms and stuff. So we'll definitely add that to the list, like Fall Guys, Granddaddy Perp. Bones versus Leprechaun. As what? Big like a fight? Disney has made mistakes and miscalculations because they are a corporation, nothing more than profit and image, like any film studio. Yeah. Yep. They definitely have done that and consistently have, not consistently, let me not say it like that. They've had their triumphs, and they've had the ones where it's like, okay, this was a money grab, and we can tell it was a money grab. I missed the earlier part. Are the vampires meant to be hiding in plain sight, masquerading as regular people, or are they just overt terrorist type? I would say that I see masquerading as regular people is still kind of a stretch because then you start thinking of like daytime. I want to say that they're still masquerading as people. Uh, excuse me. I want to say that they still have familiars and stuff like that. Like again, like it's established. Like the blood coven is established, but it's not like overwhelming. Like Blade had overwhelming numbers of vampires, like an overwhelming amount. Like I want this to be where the people who hunt vampires, they're still like, it's still like this. It's not like these are vampires, these are the hunters, and it's like we almost there. We almost there. Wait, who are these other people here? Oh, we back down. I didn't realize there was two families, and now we. No, I want it to be kind of going like this, and they just like, yo, y'all have no idea what we got coming. That's finna change everything. Because that's the one thing I kind of want from the vampire side of Blade. I want them to lose. I want this virus to get out. And to be like, yo, where their population has really started to grow in numbers. So then that way you start establishing this within the MCU rather than having to try to make up a whole entire history of how long they've been here. What have they been doing? Who have they been influencing? It's like it's not so much that you got to weave together. So that's what I meant by their vampires and stuff. So, but yes, let's see. I think Disney could benefit from a moderate budget production. 800 to be successful is ridiculous. Well, you got to remember though too, they got a lot they got to pay. They got a lot of businesses. So ain't no telling how much it is to keep them licenses for all that stuff. Trademarks. Here's the thing. Trademarks alone. You looking in the upper like millions for trademarks. First of all, trademarks are not cheap. They're not cheap at all. They are definitely the dumbest amount of expensive. And they be trademarking stuff that ain't even came out yet. Like you remember when they said like them stories would come out where they said like, yo, they've trademarked Avengers, the name for Avengers 4 and 5. And we just saw Avengers Infinity War. And it's like, dang, they trademarking that shit already. And remember, they trademark names that they ain't even gonna use. So you add, and this is just a small portion to the other stuff that they have to provide. So the stake in which their productions for success be, that's why that level sits there. And then too, you got to remember with Disney, it's international too. So it's not just domestic that they gonna hit. They also gonna hit overseas. So like for instance, like Pitch Perfect 2 is out right now. Pitch Perfect 2 opening weekend just made $250 million. And that's just domestic. Yeah. But so I say that to say just like what they'll do domestically, they'll meet that number. All trademarks could be covered for. Yeah, I mean that's true, but you got to remember too the world that we live in today. The bigger the success, somebody wants to be the benefit of that success, and that's what Bob Iger is doing. That's what they're doing. And again, it could be another way. It could be to where, you know, like, hey, the workers should be definitely getting paid more for the stuff that they do. But again, this is business. So, and that's the way that they choose to conduct their business. So that's why that number goes there. But it's not like that number doesn't hit. It ain't like that they don't get that number. because they get it. But it's ridiculous, though. I don't disagree with you, Eric Elliott. It is a ridiculous amount for you to try to want to achieve or even try to get to. But also, too, then there's also promotion. So you also got to think about that, like promotion and marketing. Like when they do that, like they spend hundreds of millions on marketing. Like you got to think about from the interviews, that costs money. To do the stuff you see on social media, that costs money. When they go to do like the little shows that we'll see on YouTube, like when they would do Hot Ones or something. This is an example, not saying Hot Ones particularly, but just as an example, they'll do like hey, we're doing a special edition of Inside Out with Hot Ones. That costs money. When they go on Good Morning America to talk about the movie Inside Out, that costs money. So you're paying like a lot of the budget goes into marketing. So you're putting close to, I would say maybe close to 150, maybe 200 million in marketing. And then also too, booking the theater, how long you're going to keep it in theaters, and how much it costs to book each theater to play your stuff. Long story short, Disney is too big and Fox should still exist. Well, Fox was making a lot of dumbass decisions, if I'm just being honest. Like Fox had their faults too. Like Fox didn't get sold because it did the right thing. Let's just keep that in mind. You don't get sold when you're doing something right. And the only time that happened is when it's a startup. Fox made a lot of decisions that didn't make sense that, made it inevitable for what happened to happen. So, and that's on them. Like, I remember when they canceled Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I'm like, why would you cancel Brooklyn Nine-Nine? That's one of your best TV shows. And then I think what it was, NBC or AB, I think NBC picked it up and finished off 4 other seasons. I was like, y'all are wild for dropping that. Cancel New Girl. And then, but finally, at least because of the demand everybody had, they told them like, yo, y'all got to give us an ending. So that's why they came back, I think, with a season 8 just to give us like an ending to it. Like, yes, bro, like you can't leave us hanging. But Fox has made their own choices too. So that's why I'm like, I can't completely knock that like Fox should still exist because, Fox gave us X-Men 3. So, Disney has one of the biggest bombs ever, John Carter, but they... I know I shouldn't say this. I know I shouldn't say this. This is one of them things that you keep to yourself and to your friend group. But since this is my community, I'm going to share this. John Carter wasn't that bad. If I'm just being honest. It was not good at all. I'm not finna give this shit no kind of demand. It wasn't something that I couldn't like, yo, why am I watching this? Cut it off type movie. It was not that. Again, I know I shouldn't be saying this out loud, but I don't want to say it shouldn't have bombed. Not going to say that. It definitely did not have no room to be a success. Like the budget that they put in there, you said to be a bomb. But there was a story there. The graphics weren't bad. It didn't, you know what it was? It didn't come together. That's what it was with John Carter. Like, I think they focused on the world so much, the world of the John Carter was in, that it lost what the story was about. And you could tell it was just kind of like, what are we doing? Like, what's the point of this? Like, where, like, what, how, like, it's like they forgot beginning, middle, and end. There are 3 acts, and you're supposed to tell us in Act 1, this is where we set up. Act 2, this is where we see the highs, the turns, the twists, the downfall, the how we're going to overcome, and then the 3rd act is implementing that and having this end. John Carter did not do that whatsoever. John Carter decided to not follow that logic, and that's why it ended up where it was. What up, Panda? Panda. All I want to know is this: when are we cooking? That's all I want to know. When are we cooking? They know what I'm talking about. And if you know Sly and you know Panda, then you know what we talking about. When are we cooking? Because the Bear is coming out next week. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to hold you to that, Sly. I'm going to hold you to that. And if for some reason this thing get canceled, it's going to be Macho Man, Randy Savage time. Off the top rope. FX the Bear, yes, Eric. I think the Bear drops next week. I think it's supposed to be the 27th. I could be wrong on the date. Again, don't fully depend on me for dates and time. But I think it drops next week. But just to give context to those that watch, my friends Sly Cooper and Panda, along with Rome, Mike, and I know I'm forgetting somebody. Miles. Play a game called Overcooked. And Overcooked is a very simple, yeah, that's true. It is Disney's The Bear. Yeah. That's very true. Very simple, adorable game where you have some dishes that you have to prepare for a group, like a restaurant. They have different variations. You can cook things from like sushi, prepare sushi, cooking dumplings, maybe even like some steaks or something, depending on where we're it's like a little travel game. So you play these cute, adorable characters that make these dishes, and you work together as a team. You got to have someone cut them, sometimes have somebody steam the stuff. You got to put it on the plate, bring the plate to the rolling tray so it's served out to the people. And you have to do this under a time limit. The more you put out, the bigger tip you get and the more money that you make. So it's a very adorable game for people to come as a group of friends to be able to play and see how they would do in a kitchen setting. For some reason, however, we decided that chaos should be the highlight within the kitchen when we play. If you've seen The Bear, I just want to say that we did it first. Normally Sly is at the helm of this kitchen. And my first time in, I witnessed a crime. I watched her kill somebody and push one of our friend's characters in the street while a car was passing, while we were serving sushi in an outside patio area, because he did not know how to get out the way. And he died. He came back in like 23 seconds, but I witnessed murder. When I tell you the level of chaos and tension that moves within this kitchen between us is a sight to behold. And we get the job done. If we don't 3-star, 3 stars is the most you can get on each level. If we don't get 3 stars, we go back. We don't move to the next map until we go back. This, if you see the comment, this is the leader's logic. He needed to learn. That was her response to killing somebody on my first day. On my first day. But they Sly Cooper and the gang calls it Stir Fry Fridays. So if we are playing next Friday, I will go live on mine if we can. I'll talk with them first. You know, gotta just make sure. But if so, we'll go live so y'all can witness how we play. And we treat it like a real kitchen, like a real legit kitchen. You got your station. When you moving, let people know you moving. When you need help, call it out. Oh, Stir Fridays. I don't know why. Well, I don't know where I get the stir fry from. I don't know why. I don't know where I got the stir fry from. Stir Friday. But yeah. For sure, Eric. Appreciate your time, man. You take it easy. Yeah, we about to wrap up in a little bit. But yeah, it is an amazing sight to behold. Like when you leave cornered, and you better hear it. If not, you're getting cussed out, and it's not just by Sly. It is hilarious. She is. Except she doesn't insult us body weight wise. She doesn't do that. She doesn't call us a fat piece of shit or anything like that. But she will. A fucking idiot might roll right off the tongue. But no body shaming. She doesn't body shame any of us. And Panda is hilarious because her responses be so damn funny. Cause you never know what Panda's gonna say. And it don't be like sarcastic shit. It just be like it's adorable when she says it because it's just like she sounds like a cartoon character. And you start laughing and then realize you burning steak because you can't stop laughing because you have Sly Cooper's AKA is Slyko the Psycho. And that definitely comes out when we play this game. So just imagine a half black Filipino woman yelling at you and yelling at you, and you have this adorable cartoon character that just responds in the most adorable way. It's like, I didn't know, I'm sorry. And I'm like, they're like, where's the rice? The rice is right there, Panda. Oh, now I see it. It's just so I can't even react it out. Like you have to just be there to see it. It is hilarious. It is so fucking funny because the tones are so different, and you be like, it's like I know this is pissing off Sly even more just because of how it's happening. I can't wait for Stir Fry. Friday. I can't wait for Stir Friday. How you think I feel, James? How you think I feel? I'm 6'3" and be getting cussed out. And be getting cussed the hell out. And especially when we making pizzas. I be fucking up on pizzas. And I don't know why. But I be chopping my ass off. You put me on the chop, I'm good. I'm good. But any more questions? Any more questions? Who got questions? You got questions? I may have an answer. Can I play? I think it's 4 people at a time. But like I said, I don't know if I said it on here, but I'll say it here. I am gonna start getting into like playing with the community video games, just to make that very clear. Yeah, that's the best. That is the best analogy. Just imagine Bakugo and Deku running a restaurant. That's me and Panda. That is exactly it. That is exactly it. That is the best description that could have been given. But to keep that updated for when we do play video games together, you got to make sure you're in the Discord. Make sure you follow the Discord. So click on that link. She won't, James. She won't. She won't. I can let you know that now. She will be gentle in telling you what the controllers are. She will tell you that. She will tell you, like, hey, these are the controllers. When you click, all you gotta do is grab these. And the buttons are very simple. I think you use like 4 buttons on whatever you're playing. So they're very easy to remember. And then you can use them all within the if you got like a PlayStation, you got your analog, and then it's triangle, circle, and X. That's literally it. Like, it's not a lot. After that though, when that timer starts, you in the kitchen, when we start calling out roles or who on who, you better select dishes first. Just to get your feet wet. Just my whole responsibility is grabbing them dirty plates, washing the dirty plate, bringing these plates back in so they can stack the food on there and get it out. That's my only job. That's how your little character will move. That's it. I'm gonna go do that. Let's see. What is a area you wish to improve upon for the channel? Sponsorship. But to be fair, I have built a lot of things since moving out here in 2017. I started Arcade Tokens, built Arcade Tokens. Same thing when it came to like All Death Gaming, but had more help with All Death Gaming, of course, and built All Death Cannabis. The only thing that I did not do during those times is really consistently build for myself. I'm a very selfless person, so I do more for others. And at that time, my main focus was to build platforms for folks that work hard to be on. So for instance, like Young Deuces. I wanted to be able to have platforms for people to be able to, folks who like Deuce that does very hard work, that consistently grinds, that is consistently improving, to be able to have somewhere where they can go to be expanded to a bigger audience. And so that was my main objective. And during that time, I made that the forefront and, not really focus on myself. So now I'm at a time now where it is just me. It's just my stuff. Like even to like for those that don't know, like I've laid off of making content for Arcade Tokens just because, the stuff that was said, the false narratives that was spread about the channel and everything like that. Just a lot of bad, as my uncle called it, a lot of bad juju. You look at some bad juju over there. Just, after having discussion with them, my closest circle, even Sly herself, I use Arcade Tokens now from the live platforms just to keep that and stuff. But now I've moved into like Strata of a Comic Book. So Strata of a Comic Book, my channel, that's what I choose to focus on now. Whether it's doing gaming lives on Wednesday on my personal channel and then doing all of the stuff for Strata of a Comic Book. But I just started doing it. So now it's still like not starting over, but starting to get like your foundation built. So having a actual YouTube page. What up, living my Jeff life? Building out everything that's mine. So like not having Strata of a Comic Book air on Arcade Tokens. It's like, no, let Strata of a Comic Book have its own YouTube channel. And it does have its own YouTube channel. Letting that have its own like social media. So I made the Instagrams because I had already had like some back pages that I had bought or traded for as far as like for graphics that had like a following on it. So like that's why if you go follow Strata of a Comic Book Instagram, it already has like close to I think 20,000 followers. Same thing with the Facebook page, like reallocating that into Stride of a Comic Book, as well as having a Twitter page, having a Twitch page, and really building that out as my own and stuff. And so if I wanted to say I would improve something, is improving to focus more on myself. So then that way I can get back to the bigger goal of being able to help others. So I never want to be selfish. I don't think I know really too much how to be selfish in that way, but I would improve getting myself established and situated first. Having those sponsorship lined up so where it's like, hey, I don't have to rely on other institutions to try to make that happen. I can fully provide that and be able to fulfill out that plan that I have of, just like I said, for like someone like a Young Deuces, or even for someone like a Sly Cooper that just doesn't really want the spotlight, but just like has certain goals that she would like to do, like her stuff that she does with like Wounded Warriors. It's like, okay, cool. When you decide you want to do that, I have a platform and these people established to really make that thing dope. But it's not like where you got to be on here every day and stuff like that. So that's what I would say I would improve. I would improve focusing more on my journey so I can get back to being able to get to the big picture to help others. Gosh, I really am not good with like accepting money from people. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's very weird. It is very weird. I'm gonna just write this. I'm gonna write this like a bad bitch. I'm gonna keep this. This is the Cash App. That is the Cash App. I just put in my head, be like, look, bad bitches do this all the time. Okay, bad bitches do this all the time. Find your inner hood, nigga, and put the Cash App down there. So that's the only thing I can think of to support right now. But again, even to your point of Big Back 70, we are building towards that too. So it's like, even like from contributing, like once we have like the Strand of a Comic Book YouTube channel fully like launched and ready to go, which we are. We just put it on. I don't know why I said we. I've watched too much Venom. I be looking at Venom, and I like saying we, like it's a whole bunch of people up here, but it's just me. Currently uploading all the episodes. I think I have like almost 80 episodes straight out of a comic book that I've done, but I'm resizing them to be like 1080p and then putting like advertising in them and recutting clips and stuff like that. Like season 3, I think alone had like 23 episodes. I just finished that one and uploaded the 23 episodes and had to make clips for all 23 episodes. So I had to like go through, see what was a good clip. And I think in total I have like double that. I think I have like 46 clips from season 3 alone that I'm gonna now have to schedule out on tillater.com to start coming out on all of the socials and stuff. But again, that's just season 3. So, and I have like, I think 5 seasons. So, but moving that to where there's consistent content coming out, there's consistent discussions that are coming out, having the Discord set out, as well. Then, me go and build the website. I already have like merch that I've made and stuff like that. So this was a process and a decision I think I just made maybe last month, that I'm a fully submerge into this. Like no more like, I still help others and stuff like that. I don't want that to like come across like fuck everybody. It's nothing like that. But really just focusing in. So I think that's also too another thing, like with to even answer your question about what would I improve. Changing the aspect of the throw everything to the wall to make it stick. You can't do that. So, but I've seen in doing that, you know how they say you see a mess and then you start to look within the mess and it's like, yo, I see like a little picture in this mess. It's like a little man right there where you see something. Now, when you look at the clouds and you see a shape, it's like that. And so I found those that work, some of the things that didn't work, and I found the pieces that work. So just kind of cutting out that big chunk of like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta be doing this, I gotta be doing this, I gotta pull in multiple streams of income, and it's like, no, find a way to harness what you're doing. And so something that my mom used to tell me all the time, and this also can bode well for y'all, is stick to 5 things. 5 things. That's it. Give yourself 5 things that you're going to focus on and keep it at that. And so once I started thinking of it like that, that became a lot easier. It's still hard, so I don't, it became less difficult to manage. So now it's just, okay, you're starting anew through that and utilizing the tools, the knowledge, the experiences that you've given, the trials, the tribulations, the successes, the failures. Now you know how to push that through into these certain points that will get you to where you want to go. And I think like lately that has been becoming very evident, and being able to see that come into reality right now. So that's why those are the things that I would have improved. I don't know IDKY. No. I'm not gonna read the question out loud, but no, that'll never happen. Not how they ended that. No. There's a certain way you end things. There's certain ways that you part ways when it comes to things. Everything's not meant to last, but the route that they chose to do and the route that they chose to say out loud, no. I don't have no bad blood. I don't have no animosity. Just those are not people I choose to want to be associated around after the way that they conducted themselves. So, he said, "I'll take the bread, bro." Hey. Yeah. But I'll say this, like, when this question always comes up, because I know I can't escape it. But something that Vision said in Avengers 2, nothing's beautiful because it lasts. So, and it was something that was, at the time it was out, it was some goat shit. We did a lot. So, but, things change, people change, and we just keep moving forward. So, next question. Damn, it's noon already? Fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna try 3 minutes. I like to be on here for 3 hours. So we at 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Let's see about one or two more questions. If you got 1 or 2 more questions, let me know. Before we get out here, we got like 3 minutes, and 3 minutes just started. While a question pops up. What do I have coming up? Living my dream. Did you just ask that as I just took a hit? That's hilarious. That is funny. Thank you for that. That was fucking funny. That was hilarious. You're like, do you still? Oh, never mind. I hit enter before I looked up and saw smoke. My bad. What I have coming up? This Strat of a Comic Book. Strat of a Comic Book is Saturdays 9 a.m. in Pacific Standard Time. I'll always go live, and then I take the lives down, and then I put up the edited episode Sunday, so you can check it out Sunday along with a new clip. What else do I have coming up in there? Is like I said, just said the YouTube, the Twitch, everything from socials, Twitch, and YouTube for Strat of a Comic Book. Like going full circle with that. So if you haven't followed, please go follow. Matter of fact, I don't know why I have something just for that. One second. Where the shit at? Where's that dude? Okay, here we Yeah, she felt bad for Homelander. That's wild. Nah, Homelander gotta go. Homelander is a real problem. Homelander is a fucking problem. Appreciate that, King Mike Hall. Thank you. I'm glad that y'all that you said that and that y'all having fun. I do too. My mindset always change when I get on here. Just because the reason why I take the content down, James, is because sometimes I'll play music or something like that, or I'll play like a trailer or something, and then like copyright strikes, and so like I can't monetize it or it'll limit it. So that's why we take the lives down, and then just put up the episode. Except for when we do like the streaming, like Let's Play, I'll keep those up because I know there's nothing I can do about that. But for like straight up a comic book stuff, I just don't be wanting to get the strike on it. So that's why I take them down. But I don't delete them or anything like that, James. So even too, like I can always, you know, when we're a little bit higher in the story of straight up a comic book, you know, we'll start putting those out again and stuff. But I do that just so for the copywriting purposes. Hey man, that's okay. Do we have a streaming schedule outside of straight up a comic book? Yeah, Wednesdays I tend to go on and I try to do night, or I want to try afternoon, but it's looking like night is probably gonna be my stick to. So Wednesdays, like around like 5 o'clock, maybe either 5 or 7 o'clock, I schedule out to go for my stuff. And that's playing video games, shooting the shit, or even just talking. And I probably might do Fridays again. That's I get. Well, I don't think James is asking me that. That's something I would think you're asking her if she's still in here. But what's the chat coming from? Twitch? Yeah. So we're across Twitch and YouTube and Twitter right now. We're across all of those right now. And you can follow those here in the link. Click the link tree. Everything is there. So even those that were asking about how you support, follow, subscribe to all of those channels. That's how y'all can help. I kept the live up during my interview today. Got to keep the numbers up. I appreciate that, King Mile. That's real. I'm gonna start trying to do contests too. I'm gonna get with Sly and help in figuring out how to do this contest stuff. I just for me, I'll be working on all the content and stuff. So I know like by August, because August is where I want to start. Like everything is gonna start going over there to straight up a comic book. So even like these episodes, we're going to have them only on there. I'll put like a 5-minute thing up on my channel. But for the most part with Straight Out of a Comic Book, everything will be exclusively on their pages for Straight Out of a Comic Book. And then for mine, like I said, we'll like do Let's Play gaming. I might let y'all see graphics when I'm doing like drawings and illustrations and stuff like that. So, yeah, are we still playing? Yeah, we are. Before you got in here, we were actually talking about that. And Granddaddy Perp, Living My Jeff Life, had said Mario Kart. He had threw a Mario Kart on the table. So we're still gonna do that as well as Fall Guys. Probably Wednesday then. Wednesday we'll do that, and I'll put that in the Discord. I did. I saw the clip. Watching Neil and Terrence like. That shit's just hilarious. Like, these are two people that just make me laugh when they talk. So the two of them in the same room and they arguing, I'm gonna laugh my ass off. But no, it's definitely worth the hassle living my Jeff life. And we figured out the hassle. Discord actually helped a lot when it came to that. Discord helped a lot. What's the link to the Discord? It's in the link that I'm adding here. If you go to the link tree, that's all of the stuff right there, including the Discord. So you can go in there, Discord tab is on there, click on there, and you'll get added to it. But, you know, just because it's living my Jeff life, like King Mike Hall, y'all always be up in here. I'm going to post just the Discord. Whew. host and just that Discord. But yeah, so that's mainly what I'm working on, and then just bringing sponsorship into the show. I'll also be like consistently writing and stuff, so there's also that too. So movies and stuff like that. Let me see. I might show y'all something. Just because we've had ourselves a good chat. If it'll let me do it. So yeah, I'll do this one. So outside of working on straight out of a comic book, when we get in the cookout episode, the overcook. Are you talking about overcook or like when I actually throw barbecues? If you talking about actually throw barbecues, I think that's a wonderful idea for me to film those. That actually is quite smart. I don't know. I'm still enjoying WWE 2K24 right now. It's just you just can't go backwards. Just as long as you don't go backwards, we good. Just do not go backwards. Here we go. All right. So in my spare time, like I tell y'all, like the ideas that y'all be hearing and we be talking about here and stuff like that, like it don't just come from like random stuff with me. Like I really be like working on actual pitch decks for shows. So y'all are seeing like an exclusive here. And like I said, I'm gonna take this stuff down. So I made one for a fourth movie for Back for the Future. And who would star in it, character breakdowns, the look and feel, who I'd have directing and writing it, production, movie comparisons, marketing, and like I do all of this, as you can see. So that's just a little taste. I don't want to go too much into it, but those be the things that I be doing. Yes, Panda. Yes, Panda. The Back to the Future theme. Yes. So those are the things I be pitching like on the background and stuff like that. And then what else do I have coming up? Oh, and then we're I'm gonna bring back Geek Blasphemy, hosted by Young Deuce, but that's now gonna be on Straight Out of a Comic Book now, moving forward in August. We're gonna have those shows available on there too, just because of I won't get into the full story, but just for safety purposes, for my stuff, that show I already can keep pushing on there without having to pull no threads. But yeah, time traveling is a white person's dream because black people have to be careful how far we go back. Here, okay, you know what though? I have something to say about that. Sage. And I'm going to say this, and this is going to make you rethink that statement. Always remember this. Matter of fact, I should make this bigger so the rest of y'all can read this. Here we go. Always remember this. Your oppressor taught you their history. So always remember that. The oppressor, I don't know if you're black, Sage D, but for this thing that I'm saying, works a lot better if you black. I think too, even if you Hispanic. I think that works for you too. If you are of melanin featured, which means non-white in a sense, and in America, your oppressor taught you. They taught you your history. So they taught it from their perspective. So although we know that that happened, we don't exactly know everything that's happened with our history. Because who's to say slavery was not a very small point in the whole vastness of America? Because again, we know they don't tell every story. Because I know for a fact they don't tell the stories about how there were a lot of slaves that killed their masters and took that land back. I actually have a movie about that I wrote. They don't tell you about that. They tell you about Harriet Tubman because that's a good story for motivation. They tell you about Nat Turner, but Nat Turner's ends in failure. They don't tell you about the ones that was like, man, fuck this. And they're like, get your ass back to work. No. And can't grab that whip, whoop their ass. Again, your oppressor taught you. So even with the same thing, if you're from Texas and how they teach you about the Alamo, remember the Alamo, remember the Alamo, remember how we did this. They are telling their side. Now, if you look from another perspective, it looks like a whole bunch of people came to a land that was owned by Santa Anna and took his shit and came up with their own reasoning to go take it. That is another way for you to look at the Battle of the Alamo. But again, your oppressor taught you. So there's no telling what our history was like. Also, too, they tell you that Columbus discovered this America in 1492 and then told us what, maybe 10 years ago that ain't even true. He didn't even get here at that time. Right, 3 is for president. Always. So we have no idea. Like, I'll ask you this. Do you know what happened between the 1000s to like up to like the, let's say, the 1300s? You notice how we don't never talk about that? You know how we don't never talk about 1192? What was going on in 1192? What was going on here before y'all got here? Because y'all tell us, oh, they were just running around in loincloths and tracking down bison. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. You mean to tell me there wasn't no monuments here before y'all got here? So everybody else got monuments with y'all. Everybody got establishments here but America. All this was just plain out land. Nobody was over here is what you're saying. Nobody was over here in the backyard. No, none of that makes sense. None of that makes any sense. So what was here before y'all got here? What civilizations rose? What civilizations fell? Exactly to live in my Jeff Life point. Indigenous people were here. There were plenty of civilizations that rose and fell before Europeans got here. Where are those? Where's that history? So that's what I mean. Like, it's being told from your oppressor standpoint. And don't get me wrong, when everybody tell a story, they want to make themselves look good. As we always see. But you mean to tell me with all the traveling, all the stuff, ships being moved about, fucking South America, Mexico, Canada, the connection from Alaska right to like where the fucking China and all of this stuff, and all of them can track back to BC areas, all of this stuff, but y'all really telling me wasn't nothing going on over here? Wasn't nothing it was just straight forest over here. That don't even sound right. That don't sound right at all. You can track back all the way to Egyptian pharaohs, Ramatut. You can track all the way back over there. But you mean to tell me in North America that wasn't nothing happening? Wasn't no civilizations here? Wasn't nobody building nothing over here? Wasn't no wars over here going on? Wasn't no people over here? Except people in loincloths sitting around a fire hunting bison. I mean, that's just even what my living my Jeff life wrote. That's just one part in the chess piece that they created to take over. So I'm just saying, like again, it's just remember that in that particular point that your oppressor taught you, and I will even say that for those people that are writers. If you're in here and you like to write fiction, you like to do those things too. Something my brother relayed to me. He was like, in writing this, make sure you step out of the Eurocentric history that you were taught. Because if you notice, every time somebody writes stuff, they write it based off of what we were given. If you ever notice that, we go off of the European style. So like if we do something in the let's say to bring up a perfect point, the 1920s, we're going to dress our characters like the images we saw from 1920. But that's what your oppressor taught you. They told you this was going on within the 1920s. This was happening during the 1920s. But what else was happening? What else was happening? So take that mindset out to where you're not sitting on that. But free thinker, even you writing that, who got them there? Because remember, other folks had to get to China in order for that to go down. Who was there before that? So, and again, too, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not disagreeing with what you're writing about how that happens. It's just when we're filling in the gaps, there's a lot of story that's not told. They give us the cliff notes of how this got here. How did China become the mother of machines? Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I didn't even think about that. Navi and Avatar. Navi equals Navy. Water navigators. Yep. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So it's those when you start to think of the holes in between these stories or the gaps between these stories. Yeah, Navy is associated with blue. That's why when you said it, I was like, yep, that's it. That is it. And if you think about it too, their skin tone was somewhat camouflage. Because you notice like when they in their blue skin, it was kind of like these whitish pigments and it's camouflage. And it looks just like Navy shit. Yeah. When you just said that yeah, you hit the hammer on the nail. Whales equal submarine. Yeah. And yeah, they did that. But again, that's why it's one of those things of I don't get mad at about it happening. It just makes you go, okay, even if you're a religion person, like you question it. Be like, well, I got a question. I'm not finna call you a liar. I'm not finna say this shit, but I got a question. As in what happened between this time for us to get here. When y'all say these people was enslaved, was everybody enslaved? So nobody fought back? That's what you gonna convince me. I didn't see motherfuckers fight back when people get their order wrong at Popeyes. You gonna tell me you trying to come in and do this shit and then nobody fight back? Nobody said, man, fuck this, I'd rather die than sit here another second and go through this. And it's only like 8 of y'all and it's 20 of us. That don't make sense. Half your population from Africa is what came over here and made slaves. I got questions that I would like answered, but it's not even to the point of just like, it's for us to be able to go, okay, y'all done gave me this playbook. Now let me look through, okay, something, there's a couple things missing here that I need you to clear up for me. And that's the thing, and from a creative standpoint, being able to fill in those gaps, being able to fill in those things, and being able to ask those questions of, well, maybe this is here. Because again, they're telling you this. And for us, we have a big chance, and I'm going to get out of here on this one because I'm sure the government going to be listening. They told their story through history books and wrote it down. We have been blessed with also the fact of being able to record history digitally. So, who's to say for these people that are creatives, for if you write movies, if you write television, you write in fan fiction, you write in video games. Who's to say within 100 years, the history that you make from making the stuff non-European or how you were taught is what this new generation 100 years from now start following. And they go, no, that really happened. No, that actually happened. Here's all the shit that proves that really happened. We weren't there when the first atom bomb hit. We don't know how that went. But we went off of base and how they described it. So that's what I mean by being able to see your own story. Yes, their idea. All of this is the idea for a comic book, you know, because this is a phantom fiction portion of what we were talking about. But I do that. Like even just for another idea I have, it's like it told during the time of when Westerns was made, but it's not gonna look like your typical Western. I'll just say it like that. It's not your typical Western. Yeah, free thinker, I would tread lightly, sir. Just tread lightly. Yeah. Avatar is a space kiddo. How though? You gotta walk me through that. Cause you ain't wrong. Oh yeah, Westworld pissed me off that they canceled that show. We deserved a fucking ending to that show. And I'm so mad we didn't get one. I'm so upset that we didn't get one. That show deserved an ending. And the fact that they canceled it to this day pisses me off. I'm so bummed that they canceled that. Like, why? Why? You could have at least, like, again, I know the fifth season didn't bang like the first four. I get it. But again, the fifth one gave good setup. It gave good setup to end it. Like season 6 should have been their last season. Like you didn't need to go no further than that. Season 6 should have been its last season and wrap that shit up. But the fact we didn't get it pissed me off. It didn't okay, so Lovecraft Country, I wasn't as pissed off just because, if I'm being honest, limited series helped me get over Lovecraft Country. Because we have something that, again, just will be for, it's just 8 episodes and that's it, it's done. It got me okay with Lovecraft Country ending the way it did. So, like, although I would not mind a season 2, I'm not mad at the fact that we didn't get one. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. I appreciate y'all checking in, man. This was great. As I said, y'all already know where to follow me and stuff. I'm going to put the Discord in here one more time. And then the link tree, y'all already know to be able to follow us. So, with that being said, I appreciate everybody who tuned in today. This was a great stream. Like I said, the episode will be put out tomorrow. And check back with me Wednesday, 6 o'clock. Wednesday, 6 o'clock p.m. PST. I'm going to be back on live. And we're going to see about getting into Fall Guys. So, y'all enjoy y'all Saturday. Be safe. Go do something for yourself. It's sunny outside. Go get some sun. Go get some energy. Go get some energy. Go get some vitamin D in your system. And we'll catch y'all next time.